Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 233 for the week of October 27th, 2015. We just finished live streaming on Patreon, on Periscope, on Toby's Periscope account. So
but you should be a Patreon patron.
Patron?
A patron.
Patronus?
Patron.
Yes.
A patron.
You should send us money.
My name is Ryan Higgins, who's here with me this week.
Brock Sager.
Who
Bryce.
else is here this week?
Bryce. Not looking at Toby's phone.
Yeah, Toby is here too.
And Charlie.
What's happening, boys?
We have a full house.
We do.
It hasn't happened in a long, long time.
Yeah, Bryce has been busy.
Oh, dude, you fucking don't even know. It's crazy. I mean, you don't effing know.
You've been on vacation. What?
Oh,
Yeah.
Vacation.
Bryce is a little scruffy.
Bryce
Yeah.
got some facial hair.
Stop shaving.
Yeah?
Our Periscope
People know already.
Yep.
people. Periscope, not attendees. What do you call it? Just people? Periscope.
Watchers.
hell is shaving?
Watchers.
So, I was just saying, I have about as much facial hair growth capacity as the least person on this podcast. I'm worse than Ryan Higgins, which is the only thing that I am worse at than Ryan Higgins in the world, including taste in comic books.
You do realize you have to let it grow out and then shave it for it to grow longer?
Brock, are you saying that I should let it grow, let it grow?
Why not?
Oh, come on. That was right there.
Ow.
No, that was incredible.
That
What?
was ow.
Came out of nowhere, and it was awesome.
It kind of did.
It did come out of nowhere.
I like how you were agreeing that it came out of nowhere, both of you, and neither one of you agreeing that it was awesome. By the way, it was awesome. So can we talk about how Starfire is hot? Dick Grayson is unfairly being maligned, or at least the writer. Dude, I got tweeted back by the writer of Hank Johnson, Agents of Hydra.
Oh, cool. Did you really?
So, I rarely, all of you, I'm very lucky to be quote-unquote followed, well, not quote-unquote, actually followed, by a bunch of you guys on Twitter. I don't tweet a lot. In fact, I would say that 80 or 90% of my tweets are just trolling Ryan Higgins. But occasionally I'll get a little saucy and I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to let people know what I think about such and such a comic book. I
missed this one.
So I tweeted out, well, that's because it was at 10 p.m., probably past your bedtime, Mr. Higgins. I tweeted out, I read, so look, all of those of you that are parents, Mr. Chaz can agree, and Mr. Brock can probably attest. If you read Hank Johnson, Agent of Hydra, I know that I'm weeks behind, but I haven't been on for a little while. It was a great book. It was a hilarious story. If you're a dad, it's extra hilarious because it's about like this average Joe and his 9-to-5 is working for Hydra. And he and his wife are working at home and they're dealing with like their two kids who are out of control and they're exhausting them, 60 hours a week. And then he has to go to work for the other 40 hours a week where he's getting like punched in the face by Captain America. And then for Halloween, his kid wants to go for Halloween dressed as Captain America. So he's just like, fucking hell. Both him to Captain America and me to Toby. So anyway, so I tweeted out, Hank Johnson was actually like a really fun original story. Hank Johnson, Agent of Hydra, great job or whatever, Marvel. And I don't usually do actual hashtags. My hashtags are always sort of like hipster ironic hashtags, but I actually hashtagged Marvel. Anyway, so then in the morning I wake up and I've a thanks Hail Hydra response to my tweet and a favorite from the author of the book.
Awesome.
Author is David Mandel.
Thank you very much. I was about to say David Mandel.
Okay.
Anyway, so it was awesome that he said what's up and anyway, the book was actually legit really good. I was shocked that he responded. But anyway, Hank, especially if you're a dad, I would try to read Hank Johnson, Agent of Hydra. It was actually really funny. It was a quality original story, and it's extra cool that when authors like engage with the community. I think that alone, if I was to review the book, it's almost like I would give that book a good review, but I almost want to give any book where the author is like engaged with the community an extra 1 or 2 points in my review out of 10 anyway. And I know that Charlie feels the same way. I don't know about the rest of you goons, but
Okay, so
Something just happened.
troll incoming.
well, no.
He's been talking to me all this time in my lifetime.
Yeah, troll comment incoming.
I'm just
Here
wondering
go.
if we actually have anything to talk about on this podcast.
no,
What?
not
This is the Bryce cast.
Oh,
Just get used to it.
Yeah.
Is this not that Bryce Cast where I...
Well, he has to make up for all the ones he's missed.
Yeah.
Of course.
I was just so excited. Like, that's pretty cool to be, like, responded to by an author of a comic book. That's fucking... I mean...
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I would stop just short of saying that's the dream, but, like, that's pretty cool, dude.
Should start talking to Jim Sub over there.
Jim Zub. I feel like when I talk to Charlie, I'm talking to Jim Zub.
It's quite possible. He's channeling to Jim Sub.
Okay, what were
I
you
just
talking about, Ryan?
resend everything that you guys say to him. Do you know what these...
well.
Oh, so we're
Can we get this
So,
train back
we
on
are
the track,
talking through
please?
Charlie.
So I was not aware of this.
So in other words, Ryan
This
Higgins
writer-
have not been paying attention to Bryce. Oh, you have.
Well, no, I was not aware of this comic writer before
Which comic writer?
before Hank Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Age of Hydra #1, and so I decided to look up David Mandel. David Mandel is he's written for The Simpsons, Curb Your Enthusiasm, the Clerks animated series, Seinfeld, including
wow.
the reverse, the Bizarro episode
Oh, wow.
of Seinfeld, and
made
wrote
you
60
go-
episodes of Saturday Night Live. So there you go.
Holy fuck.
During what time period, though?
The 90s, mid-90s.
Okay, so it's
producer
good-
on
it's good
and,
stuff.
and he's the producer on
Well,
Curb
yeah,
Your
Simpsons and 60 episodes of SNL.
No,
like-
SNL during the 90s. That was the better stuff.
No, I'm just saying
Afterwards,
that 60
kind of.
episodes of SNL.
He was the producer on Curb Your Enthusiasm and a couple seasons of Seinfeld and The Simpsons.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, so there you go. There's a reason because he's not a comic book writer. He's a legit Hollywood guy, I guess. Just tapped by Marvel to write a comic. So
That's cool.
That's even cooler.
How fucking random.
Yeah,
Even cooler that
happens.
he wrote you.
That
happens
is
a
even
lot.
cooler.
That makes
Yeah.
it even cooler. Now you have a TV person writing it, man.
But dude, this guy's coolness aside, he was very cool. But I do suggest especially if you're a dad, go and fucking read this book because, like, there's a scene early on where he gets knocked out by Captain America, and he goes home, and they have to deal with the kids, and they're just both fucking exhausted, him and his wife, and it's just like, yeah, that's my fucking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, yeah, I know exactly how you feel, Hank Johnson. I feel like I work for Hydra with my cubicle office. Anyway,
Maybe
so,
you do.
I feel like you didn't even properly get this episode kickstarted off, but when I,
No.
interrupted,
that's a great story.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty
That's a
cool.
great story.
So,
All right, so what are we talking about?
Hank Johnson, Agents of Hydra.
What are we talking about
Yeah.
to go forward?
Well, we could talk about
Marvel, how awesome it is.
we could talk about all sorts of stuff
Sounds
here.
like a normal thing.
We got a handful of
It's a horrible thing.
couple news things, lots of TV conspiracy, lots of questions. So let's.
Did you
let's
see
get
what
working.
Jeb Bush said about Supergirl?
Yeah.
Dude, what a fucking what a
Well, once he
troll.
found out that she was an illegal immigrant, he didn't care for her anymore.
No, I think that it would probably be in everybody's best interest if we stayed off politics in this podcast. Because I would love to riff on
It's
that.
just a funny
with you.
joke.
No, it's hilarious, Ryan.
I didn't make it up, but I'll pretend I did. Miracleman, also known as Marvel Man, also known as something that I was really
Is he known
afraid.
as Marvel Man?
Yes?
Yeah,
Yes?
that I was really afraid Marvel was going to try to tie into the Marvel universe, and they haven't tried that yet, so that's good.
So what you're saying is that you were hating on Marvel for something that they might do. They haven't done yet, but you still are trying to hate on them.
Nope. Miracleman #25, originally written by Neil Gaiman and Mark Buckingham, that was never published,
Yes.
is finally getting published in April. That is the last of the original Miracleman stuff by Neil Gaiman.
Okay.
Even though this issue was never published, it was written and drawn at the time, so that's actually going to see published. And then, end of next year, we will finally see the first all-new original Miracleman stories at Marvel by Neil Gaiman.
Wow.
Very, very excited
So
for
that's
this.
By
Neil-
Neil Gaiman?
Yeah. He's finishing up his arcs. He never got to finish his story. He had like a 3-arc thing. They didn't even finish the second arc.
Oh, so a miniseries.
Well, I mean,
They're finishing.
I think it's 3 or 4 issues. Yeah.
Is that all they're doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, there's actually 3 more issues for the second arc, and then that he's going to do, and then the third arc will.
Which is called Dark Age.
Yeah. It was Golden Age, Silver Age, and Dark Age. So it'll probably be another 9 or so, 9 to 10 issues of original Neil Gaiman stuff.
Right.
So very excited.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So he's already done with the writing.
No, he hasn't written any of this stuff yet. The comic got canceled when he was in the middle of an arc. and one issue was left unpublished. And to the best of my knowledge, I mean, I'm sure he has plots and
Wasn't it like published, but
not the last issue.
Is this going to be like that Sandman issue 0 thing where it's like years between issues? That's an exaggeration, obviously.
Well,
This is more than years.
well, I think Gaiman's been working on this for a couple of years now, and I think they're just ready to publish it.
Hey, Sandman Overture finished before Secret Wars.
Overture, thank you. That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking.
well, either way,
It started a bit before. But
even if it takes 3 years to finish, what does it matter? It'll get nice and collected eventually.
Charlie just wants the omnibus at the end.
Exactly.
So he
It doesn't fucking
care.
matter what Charlie even says because you don't care about when he comes out with it as long as it is completed so that an omnibus can come out.
Well, I've reached a point, especially on books like that, where as long as they get done and finished, I'm okay.
Right. Because you don't give a fuck about the floppies. Just give me the sexy hardcover.
Well, it's more about
Well, yes.
the amount of times I have waited years, months.
but Charlie, you have a blue
is
box at home. That
crazy.
doesn't
And in
count.
this case, decades.
Yeah.
It just, there are plenty of comics that ended abruptly for me that I get more frustrated about than the ones that took long to finish.
Can we talk about how bad New Avengers #1 was? Or did you guys already talk about
We'll
that?
get to that.
We did, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Bryce, I'm going to ask you a question.
Ask away, baby.
I want to know your answer to this.
I can't wait to give you my answer.
If we were talking about comic books, and I said that you got fingered, what am I talking about?
Spider-Man.
You would be referring to the fact that I was a female
that was
and
fisted.
that you took me up to the water tower and you had your way with me manually.
No.
Well, that's actually what it actually means.
Fingered in the comic book industry means that a character that you created or a comic book you created was unjustly taken from you. You've received no credits and no payments for it. It's a reference to Bill Finger, the co-creator of Batman, that due to various copyrights and laws and stuff, he was never able to receive any sort of money or credit for.
Bill Finger, I thought that
Batman.
he was the inker?
Nope. He was
Okay, wildly wrong.
artist,
Okay. So
co-writer.
co-creator with Bob Kane?
Yep.
Oh.
But due to Bob Kane's smarts, really, at the time, he received sole credit for
Look,
Batman.
This is like the fucking Stanley Jack Kirby thing. I'm sorry, finish your story
But
and
Jack
then I'll rant.
th-
No, go ahead.
Well, this year,
Blah, blah,
Jack
blah.
Kirby, the Jack Kirby, his estate did get full creator credits on everything that he's worked on. So we had that, and now, as of this past week, Bill Finger is now listed as co-creator of Batman for the first time in
So do they have
76
to
years.
re-release all the movies and TV shows and?
No, it's just
Just the Joel Schumacher movies.
the Robot Chicken special that I completely missed. Has Batman created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. Also, Bob Kane with Bill Finger from episode Gotham, and then same thing in
Wait,
Batman and Robin Eternal as of last
that
week.
is
So,
incredible that there was another Robot
great.
Chicken. Have you seen the original one? I've only seen the first one.
the first one's
hilarious.
amazing. The second one was pretty funny.
Oh, there's already been two?
yeah, this is the third one.
Oh, this is the third one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm way behind. The
still
first
need to
one
see
was
the third
fucking
one.
hilarious.
Yeah, I completely missed that it was on. So
So did I, apparently. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll be hopping on demand.
I grabbed the little DVDs when they came out. So because they come with extras and crap.
Yeah.
So very, very happy to see.
That's
Bill
fun.
Finger-
that's really cool though. Good
Bill
for him.
Finger getting
Nice.
some.
Although I'm so annoyed with
So what you're saying is after 76 years, Batman finally got fingered?
Yeah, he's no longer getting. Yeah, Bill Finger's no,
no,
longer
he's
getting.
no
fingered.
longer being fingered.
right.
No,
correct.
but he got
Bill Finger's
fingered
no longer
because
being
now
fingered.
he's now on it.
Right, but doesn't
Any event.
yes, any event.
And our last kind of random comic book news story for this week, and also to pimp comicsconspiracy.biz, where we sell a lot of variant cover sets. Right now, you can go on and get all of the DC December bagged variant cover sets by Jim Lee, Joe Mad, J. Scott Campbell, lots of other top-tier creators on some amazing books, all with Harley Quinn.
Ryan, don't finger me on this one, please.
We're going to get so fucking many of these comics.
But you didn't get so many fucking
So are you gonna-
variants of the fucking hip-hop covers.
Are you
I
gonna
pre-sold all the
unbag
ones
them?
we got. Yes, so what we are doing on these, if you just want a set of random covers, that's cool. There is a black and white cover, a sketch cover, and a color cover. And they're all black bags, and you don't know what you're getting.
Ah,
That is why,
Jim.
for a small fee, we will be selling sets that are pre-opened, so you know exactly what you're getting.
I already ordered my colored one.
For a little bit over cover price. And we will have many, many copies available at the store. If you want to luck of the draw, cover price, you can pick up your black bag copy here. But if you want to specifically know which one you're getting, a little bit extra, and you get the book you want. That aside, something that we will be having on our website very shortly here, probably by next weekend, is something that I don't understand, and I want anyone here to explain this to me.
No problem. I don't even know what it is, but I'll explain
It has to do with Marvel variants, right?
No, this is another DC variant set. Bryce, you should be happy to know that by far our best-selling set of variants that I've done so far have been these Marvel hip-hop variants. We've sold out of every month we've done.
Every month? Hasn't there been 1 month?
Well, no. The November one just came. The November one starts.
It's not November 1? What?
The November one. The November bundle I am sold out of as well. The December,
You're already sold out of November.
Yeah, the December one still have about 3-4 weeks before final orders are due, so we're approaching selling out on the December one already.
Obviously not a retailer. I didn't know you could sell it in December. It's not even November.
Well, because we have to order the books in
No,
advance,
I mean,
right?
now that you say that, it's fucking very obvious.
I'm not order like 10,000. I do order a limited amount, and if I adjust it, then I can get more.
10,000. It's okay.
I wish I did. I probably could have sold them. So, but this one, I want someone to explain this to me because this is a thing and I don't get it.
If it's hip-hop variants, Toby and I can explain it.
DC is selling a big set of adult coloring book variant covers, as well as a set of pencils.
That really doesn't sound right.
Adult coloring books are a huge thing.
What?
Okay, finish your fucking sentence. This sounds already like a train wreck.
Charlie seems to understand.
He does?
I've heard of this for a while.
Charlie nodded at you out of epilepsy.
I've heard of it. I've heard of this for a while. I know some people that have done it. I mean, it's art, so I guess, but this is a really big thing. And Charlie, you seem to. Do you know people?
Well, I
don't get it.
I know people who have fun taking original sketches and trying to ink them and that kind of stuff. Not necessarily sitting down with colored pencils like this.
No, that's.
But
and none of you guys aware of that this is a really, really big thing right now.
Oh, this is bigger than hip hop. Is that what you're saying?
Well, Marvel and DC are both doing coloring book variant colors.
What?
Coloring book variant covers in the next month or two. And the adult coloring books are some of Amazon's top sellers.
Wait, I have a question.
It is probably the fastest growing
actually raising his hand.
physical book because it's a new market, obviously, so it's growing fucking exponentially.
Why do you keep saying adult coloring books?
That's what they're called.
How is it different than a
coloring
book?
Are they Jubilees on there? Why do they call it adult?
I mean, it is aimed at an adult audience. It's
what makes it different from a kid's coloring book?
That is what I want to know.
The kids' coloring books normally has
no Jubilees on it.
I think
it's normally kids' cartoons, like Disney.
Yeah, this is I think a little more.
What's different with Superman on the cover?
So the only thing that makes it adult is that it's like an adult quote unquote comic book.
Yeah. But again, this is not something exclusive to comics. This is
the quote unquote fad is not. Yeah, I mean
It's not really. It's been around for a little while. And I'm sure people have done it prior, but it's become a huge thing recently. Yeah. In the last year or so.
People have always done watercolors and all that stuff. I mean, when you were a kid, didn't you?
Is it like one of those things the girlies like to go to, on their girlfriend dates, to where they paint a stupid flowery thing and it's all the same shit and they're proud of it for some reason and they drink wine and they take a picture afterwards of it?
I don't know.
Is this what adult coloring is?
You had me at drinking wine.
Yeah. And girlies, maybe? No, you're married. Never mind.
I don't know. But adult coloring books, a very big deal. And if you're really into this, I'm not saying anything negative about it. I just kind of don't get it. So.
Are they numbers? Number 2 is for red. In case you don't understand.
Maybe what we could do...
maybe they are. I don't know.
Maybe what we could do is get some, and then each one of us color it, and we give it away for a contest.
Mine's just all black all over.
Yeah, you don't want Ryan's.
No. See? Adult coloring books, big thing. And if you like those, we're going to have some comics you can order with adult. And I'm assuming they're you draw on the cover of the comic.
Now you're speaking my language.
They come with pencils. They come with color pencils.
Oh man, I
thought you had to buy the pencils separately.
We will be offering the pencils free with the purchase of the set.
Okay.
So there you go. It's something that DC is. These are they're not a DC branded coloring pencils, but they're they're from DC. So they come with the
Then how are they not DC branded?
They're just they partnered with a company to provide the pencils, but they're not branded DC.
That's the stupidest fucking co-branding expedition ever.
They should. They should be.
There's no reason that they wouldn't
have Batman pencils. I had one when I was.
There's no reason that they
preschool.
shouldn't have It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, cost, right? I mean, this is mass-produced stuff. If you make your own, they have to pay more.
Yeah, but they could charge more.
So the question is,
true.
If Marvel does this, are you going to get some?
Oh, Marvel is doing them.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, I got all the hip-hop variants that Ryan will sell me. Which is not all of them.
I didn't get any.
No. It's basically
I have to go to another store to get them.
Basically none of them. Calm down.
Okay. Well, I'm in the same boat as you.
I've given you every single one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fucking placate Toby.
You see, you
If you told me you wanted them, Toby, I would have
fucking
offered them
Ryan,
to me.
man. Trying to get Ryan's back. Ryan blast me.
They're offered to everyone.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not interested at all in coloring books or Marvel coloring books or
Charlie.
adult coloring books.
Do you just want to take over this podcast? Because they're apparently all over the place.
Yeah, you two have been doing an awful lot of talking. It sounds like you're about to take it over. Said nobody ever.
No, Charlie's just looking up adult coloring books. So, okay, we're going to move on.
With Jubilees?
Yeah.
We've got a lot of...
your question?
Youporn.com/coloring book is what Charlie...
We've got a lot of...
It is with Jubilees.
We've got a lot of TV conspiracy to cover tonight, so very quickly.
Boring. Can we talk about comic books instead?
How about 10 seconds left on the Bulls-Cleveland game?
How about the fact that...
Very quickly, we're going to discuss the number ones from this week, and then Bryce, I know you have not had a chance to read a lot of these number ones yet. However, your homework for next time, because we need to do another Bryce Briefly episode.
Yeah, next week?
Whenever you are on next, why don't you read as many of the number ones as you can before then? And
by next week, I'll be able to... Now that I'm in town...
Our very special Patreon backers will be able to see Bryce, or hear Bryce, go off on all the new Marvel number ones that he was able to read.
Oh, I'll store them up and make notes for all the number ones?
You should.
Oh, wait, that's a Bryce Briefly? Never mind, I won't read them, I guess.
I can do that.
Okay. Let's briefly talk about the 3 number one books from this week. The 3 number one books this week are, and we'll go in reverse.
Oh, can we talk about Age of Apocalypse number 5?
How about the Bulls
We'll go from worst to best order. Uncanny Inhumans number 1 by Charles Soule and Steve McNiven. Yes.
That's worse than New Avengers?
Well, no, the worst from this week.
Oh, was that in the previous week?
This is last week's books that we got to read.
I'm all behind.
I know.
I'm sorry,
I know.
Keep going,
That's fine. That's fine. Who got a chance to read this?
I did.
Me, Charlie, Brock.
I did.
Worst to best? This is the worst?
Charlie, Brock, you guys agree? Worst of the 3?
Yep.
From this week?
3 seconds left in the Bulls
Yes.
game.
Okay.
Took me a second to go through. What were the other 2?
Yeah. You know, the Inhumans is a tough sell. Let me rephrase that. 1 Inhumans book is perfectly acceptable. 7 Inhumans books is a really fucking tough sell.
There are not 7.
It's just going to be 7.
No, there are not.
There's going to be more Inhuman books than there's X-Men books.
They're the new humans.
What?
They're the new humans. NU humans.
How dare you?
So...
Wait a minute. Is Lash in this comic?
I don't fucking know. So... I was actually kind of excited to read this. I like Charles Soule a lot, and I generally like Steve.
It's by Soule?
Soule and McNiven. Yeah. And I generally like these guys.
They're a fucking great combo. This is the worst of the 3?
Yeah. It's really bad. Like, the backup story with the Inhuman people is terrible. Like terrible.
And it has a misprinted page.
Which is also by...
Jesus.
Can't
abide that.
But the front story...
Bad.
You know, Steve McNiven, this is not his best art. It's okay.
It definitely feels like it was
rushed, or he didn't have a lot of time to work on it. But yeah, I don't know. Marvel's gonna.
Do you want to give actually any verbalization to your argument, or just want to go?
Okay, so I don't know. So, hold on. So in this, it's.
Well,
the difficulties I had. The difficulties I had with this was, one, it throws Kang in. Right off the bat. Hold on.
Turtles Kang?
No.
We should, by the way, always have
Conqueror.
We should always have Charlie go first because he gives the most reasonable critique or positive. And by the way, he always gives a book at the very least an 8 out of 10. Like that's just Charlie's move. So I'd rather Charlie went before you, but okay.
Plus, he doesn't hate Marvel right off the bat.
Yeah, that's also true. Good point.
All right. Well, fuck it.
Continue talking, Brock.
No, that's all right. I'm done.
I have things to say as well. Charlie has something to say.
Well, both of you. So far, we're 2 for 2 with shit reviews. So, Charlie, can you give us a...
Just so you know, I couldn't give the review.
No, we wanted you to. You said no, and you put it down.
Sorry. Yeah.
Charlie.
Okay. Any event, the biggest problem with this book is the fact that it is a quote-unquote number one that's not really a number one. It kind of throws you into where the previous series essentially left off with Black Bolt trying to save his son from the end of the universe and making an agreement with Kang.
So that was going to be one of my biggest complaints, that I feel they, Secret Wars interrupted
a lot of... Why don't you fucking
of...
let him finish?
Secret Wars interrupted a lot of these stories, and a lot of these stories, when they've come back, have just picked up basically shortly after where they left off.
Yeah.
With a lot of them, I feel like they haven't been giving a proper introduction. Now, some of them are fine. The ones I have read, I've been like, okay, sure, I know what's going on because I read the previous arc. For Inhumans is a case where I did not read Inhuman past the first issue, and I have no clue what's going on in this book. I feel like it wasn't addressed properly, and then you're, like Charlie said, you're thrown into a situation where I feel like you're not given any sort of any real background.
But that being said, that just makes it a very poor number one. Basically, if you're reading the previous story, or if you want to pick up the previous story in trade and you really like it, just keep reading at this point. It's not really a fresh start. It's not really a traditional number one, great jumping on point. It's just a continuation of the previous story, which those who are enjoying it will enjoy this and keep reading this. And I hope those who were intrigued in this maybe go back and read the trades. Those who were put off, well, you probably aren't going to want to go back and read the trades.
I thought the stuff with the Johnny Storm was interesting. They set him up as a love interest with Medusa, kind of,
which just seems so wrong,
going against Black Bolt, and it kind of ends on a like, oh my god, no, how you found us together.
Yeah, but Johnny was already with like her sister at one point and stuff. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, Crystal is Medusa's sister?
Or like related somehow.
Oh,
they are related somehow. I haven't read this book, but that just sounds like incest.
So it
just feels like they threw Johnny in to throw a Fantastic Four character in another.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they're just blowing him up,
right? And Thing is in Guardians, so they're just trying to.
Which Guardians was really good.
Yeah,
was that out this week or
last
week?
Yeah,
and that was another continuation.
You said good things about that when I wasn't here.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's been doing all kinds of good things while you're not here.
Week one,
he only hates on when you're not here.
Because now I'm going to tell you about a good and a great comic.
Wait, a good and great.
Yeah.
One good and one great?
Karnak, number one.
I don't know who this guy is.
By Warren Ellis and...
Karnak, is that Marvel or is that...
It's Marvel.
Star Wars.
Marvel. No, Karnak.
What the fuck?
I don't have the artist name in front of me here. Gerardo Zaffino.
I would like to exploit the weakness in your knowledge of Marvel.
Okay.
Like Karnak would do.
Now, I am not a huge Inhumans fan, so I don't know a ton about the Inhumans.
Oh, he's incredible.
But Karnak, again, so this is an issue where you kind of can just read it.
Oh, cool.
It gives you enough of the info you need to know. I know Karnak was dead at one point, but I don't even know if they explain how he came back.
Yeah,
I don't care.
number one.
Yeah.
Show me the cover sign of who it is.
Well, no, he died in that.
He jumped out a window in that.
Right.
Oh, I don't know who he is.
Jumped, right?
Jumped.
Yeah.
Now this, I'm not going to say...
I didn't know that he came back.
This is as
Spoiler
good...
alert.
As far as I know, this is where he comes back.
I'm not going to say this is...
explain it.
Quite as good as Brubaker and Matt Fraction's Iron Fist number one, but this is... It has that feel, and it is... I really like the art. It's a cool...
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's good, really good. Really good first issue.
It's a solid book.
You know this is a Marvel book, not a DC book.
I like also... Go listen to those last 3 episodes, Bryce. I've been liking all sorts of Marvel number ones. Well, not last week. Not last week, but the weeks prior.
Been
definitely.
on vacation for too long, buddy.
I have been on vacation for too long. What the fuck, you like Karnak? My mind is being blown. I can't wait to read it. It's in my drawer at home. I can't wait to read it.
This, I feel like, is a good starting point. You don't have to know what's gone on prior with this character. It doesn't feel like it ties into the Humans. Warren Ellis will only do 6 issues. I mean, that's Warren Ellis.
It doesn't matter how much you like it. How long is Warren Ellis going to give us?
Yeah, exactly. But good start. Very curious to see where they're going to go with it. Great art. Really, Toby, I think would really like this art.
Really?
I think you would. Check out the last couple pages, especially.
No, I did like just when I was flipping
through it. He was fingering through it.
Fingering.
Brock, it sounds like you liked it too.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I even enjoyed it with the let's insert Agent Coulson into it and S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, the Coulson bit may be the only part that was a little weird. Yep. Like, it felt kind of unnecessary, but I didn't.
That's just because Coulson's in every other book these days.
Yeah.
Is the new Nick Fury?
Well, no,
I fucking can't stand Coulson. I haven't read this book, but I give it a 9 out of 10, only based on Coulson even being in it.
A lot of the Marvel books have kind of just this, let's insert something here to associate with the movie universe feel.
Well, Coulson has become sort of the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point. So anytime they're working S.H.I.E.L.D. into a comic book, it's always happens to be Coulson there, which is just getting overdone right now, and they need to
Coulson is the new Wolverine.
Use him more sparingly. But that being said, I liked the agreement that Karnak had with S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not going to say what the agreement was, but I like the agreement.
Thank you. I would really like to talk about Wolverine and E for Extinction after this.
Let me talk about one more book real quick.
No, please.
Is this the great book?
I just want, because one of the two of us has ADD and will remember. Sorry.
Very briefly, let me talk about...
The other one will remember.
Astonishing Ant-Man #1. Easily the best book of the week.
What?
Oh, yeah. And one of my favorite books prior to the relaunch, but it only had like 4 issues.
I know it was like 5, 6.
Five in the annual. The annual was fantastic,
too.
The
annual was great.
But this issue is...
Is this Nick Spencer?
Yeah.
Let me see it.
It's Nick Spencer and Ramon Rosanas.
Frick?
This is the best issue Marvel's published with all the new #1 issues.
But again, it's also a continuation of the last one.
Exactly. It picks up very briefly after the last issue.
Well, most of those #1s are. I bet you Silk is going to be like... Even the trade that came out, it doesn't say #1 on the corner. It says #0. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Bastardos.
So Ant-Man, again, if you've been reading the previous series... this, I feel like they give you some background as to what happened. There's a lot of text. There's a lot of info dump at the beginning of the issue.
The thing is at the end of Ant-Man, like the last days and stuff like that, it blinks out.
Well, right. He's like, oh, everything's dead.
Yeah,
and now it's like, I'm back.
Yeah, it's like nothing ever happened, and I think that you're going to see a lot of that in the Marvel titles going forward.
Yeah,
is kind of this. The writers weren't told what was going on, and then at some point they just said, screw it, just continue with what you were doing, just ignore Secret Wars.
Yeah. So Ant-Man, #1, picks up with Ant-Man and Grizzly and what's the other guy? I can't remember his name, the computer guy.
Yeah, I don't.
They've formed a
Machine Smith,
something like that. Yeah, machine. Yeah, because they call him Smith, like Cyber Smith Machine. I can't remember something like that. So he forms a security group.
Consultation.
Yeah.
Security firm.
To help superheroes, or to help companies with like superhero threats. And this might introduce... It almost felt like an episode of like Venture Brothers, like the good Venture Brothers. This
like outside or like the bathroom?
I don't know what Toby's doing. Toby's watching something. This was just a fucking hilarious issue. And again, I don't want to spoil everything for anyone that hasn't read it, and for Bryce, who I think will watch it. But
I'm gonna fucking love it.
Especially being in the Bay Area and with all the tech stuff around here, and you kind of get used to it. This issue was,
dude, I can't fucking wait to read this.
So funny,
dude. I don't understand how a show. Do you guys watch Silicon Valley?
No, I don't. I've heard it's good.
Have you watched it?
Only the first episode.
God damn, you guys are the worst. Silicon Valley is like the most funny TV show on TV right now.
If you live here.
Right. It's fucking hilarious, and like it is the funniest TV show ever if you live here. And if you don't, I don't know how this TV show got picked up.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like it's a similar thing where it's like, I don't understand how like these people get away with doing such great stuff, but knowing that there's such a captive audience or a limited audience.
Well,
obviously Silicon Valley was renewed for a 3rd season, so it's like people are liking this, but I can't imagine how it is so popular in it. Nick Spencer's fucking hilarious, but even with this series before Secret Wars, it was like, I imagine a lot of this is sort of I wouldn't describe myself as a hipster, but like the sort of the hipster crowd, like.
In this, Nick Spencer really nails the whole app culture very well. Mm-hmm. And maybe the funniest line in the entire thing is the exchange about the how much the payment was going to be. To me, that made me laugh so hard. You know, like the whole like, $1 million. And Austin Powers, there's
Right.
a similar type of joke in this, where it just shows how out of,
I thought one of the best things about it was, in regards to the app, was the app then asked Ant-Man to rate his experience.
Yeah. Like I said,
with the app.
the entire Silicon Valley app culture is so perfectly
I think
written
Albert Sloy would probably agree with us on
in this. It's just so well done. It's so well done.
I can't wait to read it. I want to go home. Which hip hop cover is it? Can you give it to me? Can you translate it into hip hop for me?
Oh, it's the one where he's like the little baby.
Oh, the Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die. Wait, Ready to Die? I think it's Ready to Die.
Charlie, did you enjoy Ant-Man #1?
Oh yeah, it was great. I liked everything they kind of picked up from the previous series, and the sort of cliffhanger realization at the end has me very curious for them to fill in some details.
All right, Bryce, you got a couple minutes here. You wanted to talk about some real shitty Secret Wars books. But we got a lot of TV to talk about, so let's hit me up on a couple things here.
It's Ready to Die.
Yeah.
Notorious B.I.G. Ant-Man cover.
E is for Extinction.
Oh,
you
dude.
got past the first issue.
I want to give this as little time as possible. I just wanted to bitch about it. Like, that was a fucking shit book. I
read the first issue and I was like, nope, I'm done.
I don't know. I thought that the first issue was the best of the 5 or 6. What is it? Oh, only 4? Jesus, it felt like an eternity of terribleness.
I'll tell you what, Bryce. I am so over Secret Wars, and this will give you something to talk about here for a minute.
Yeah,
I took the. I mean, I had a stack of stuff to still read, and I took the vast majority of that stack and threw it in the dollar bin where it was going to go anyway because it's extra copies.
Yeah, that sounds like most of your DC run.
So I took the couple that I wanted to read, and then I just took that stack and threw that in there. I will read 7, 8, and 9, but the miniseries are pointless.
I mean, like Old Man Logan started out really, really strong, and then kind of just. I mean, the end was...
Oh, God. You guys are your heads are so far up your asses. No. I don't even know if I can talk to you and you'll be able to hear me.
Old Man Logan was good, but it basically set it up to go, we're going to conclude this when Secret Wars ends someday.
Yeah. And, like, Future Imperfect...
But, by the way, really well. Like, it's a fucking journey across Battleworld. That's awesome. Old Man Logan has become, like, I'm looking at the wall and I'm probably missing it, but it's one of the top 4 books. I'm trying to look at which is better.
Well, then you have like Future Imperfect. I thought ended well, but a lot of them it was just like
Future Imperfect.
Inhumans, Atlan Rising. I really enjoyed the story going forward, but it was kind of that like, oh, well, it didn't work this time, so it wasn't like this was. It was kind of something to do with like the Matrix, where it was like he'd done this before. Civil War ended okay, but most of them,
I haven't read the last issue.
No, I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
Majority of them, I just didn't feel mattered at this point. Like, what does it matter that I actually finished these titles?
I really liked Agents of Atlas from this week.
Is that from the Secret Wars universe?
Yeah.
Dude, look, here's the thing. When Age of Apocalypse came out in the fucking late 2000s, that was the shit. That was so good. I can't even talk about it without getting emotional, which is total hyperbole and exaggeration. But it was so good. But like Excalibur, or however you pronounce it, like it just wasn't as good as Amazing X-Men and like the quote unquote core books to Age of Apocalypse. And then if you extrapolate that whole idea, which was an incredible idea, line wide to the whole series, like they've done an incredible job in terms of what you would expect. Like, from any... Look, to put it in perspective, if DC did a line-wide Secret Wars type of thing, spoiler alert, the fucking Batman books would be incredible and everything else would be fucking garbage. Marvel did a great job of having a ton of stories matter and be relevant, and there was a lot of garbage.
Not a single one matters. Of the Secret Wars books?
I think he's talking about Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, Age of Apocalypse.
No,
Age of Apocalypse.
I'm talking about Secret Wars.
Age of Apocalypse, they all matter. Secret Wars, not a single book matters. Not a single book affects the main title. That's the end. That's the story at the end of the day. Not a single book affects the main title.
Is this like a spoiler that I don't know about?
No, not a single. No, have you read out any of them? Not a single book affects or is affected by the main title, except for the core conceit of the event.
So in Age of Apocalypse, they were it is true that they were always building towards a story, and it was way more well conceived, which is easier in a smaller sandbox. But with the Secret Wars, I do think that they have been doing an incredible job of having these alternate timeline stories take place where everybody's trying to overthrow Doom. And by the way, they got all the writers on board to acknowledge that Doom is the shit and that Doom is taking care of business and Doom is God for almost all of these stories, which is incredible. And so I haven't read the last Secret Wars issue, and I'm sure that if I ask you, you'll tell me that the next Secret Wars issue has been delayed until 2017.
Nah, so far it's November 11th, November 28th, and December 23rd.
All right, but my point is, so I'm still one issue behind, it sounds like. But, I mean, like, all the stories have been great in like, I don't know how many it is. Let's say it's 20 different storylines. In, like, 10 of the 20 storylines, there's some supervillain plotting Doom's downfall, which is exactly how it would be in the fucking Marvel Universe. Whereas, like...
Yeah, but they can be good stories, but they do not really affect the Secret Wars
don't matter.
Book.
That's the story at the end of the day, is they don't matter.
Most of the books have ended with a, oops, I failed, or this, and like taking the Age of Apocalypse, for instance. I won't spoil it, but...
Well, you kind of just did.
The way it ends does not impact Secret Wars at all.
Right, but that's totally fine. If more than one book of these affected the ultimate whatever story that Hickman is telling in the main book, then that would sort of fucking blow his wad, wouldn't it?
No, but my point basically
yes, it would.
Is,
what do you mean no, it wouldn't?
It is possible to have books enhance the main story. If you kind of go back to when Civil War was the big event.
Let me ask you a question. Convergence came out. They had their Convergence story. Did any of the fucking Convergence stories matter to the main Convergence title? No. The question is, can they have miniseries within this world that they've developed be awesome? They've been doing awesome stories that haven't impacted the main story, but it's too unwieldy to whatever. And yes, that's more than 50% Marvel apologist in me, but there's been fucking great stories that they've done, and I wouldn't expect them to have more than one of these miniseries impact the actual story.
But my overall feel for this is they have some good stories. A lot of the ones that are my favorite are the ones that realistically are going to carry forward in some ways. But they're
Old
also...
Man Logan, and that's it.
Well, a little bit more than that.
Continuing.
Yeah, you have A-Force, you have Old Man Logan, you have
A-Force
some
has
stuff.
been fine. Old Man Logan's been good, but I already know that he continues on, so it's kind of like,
the reality for me is the rest of these build up to something, and then they kind of go, and we're just going to kind of end it here, kind of abruptly, kind of just and this particular story is now done. And
right, but what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Just like
they're
every other,
have it be like, oh, Hickman.
Well, so here's
just like every other comic book. Basically, you read the good ones for the sake of themselves, but you don't necessarily need to suffer through the really horrible ones because you're trying to keep up with the event.
Let me explain this in a way that I'm sure you'll take as a Marvel versus DC thing, but only because it's the most recent example. That's only why I'm using it.
I'm sure that's only why.
Forever Evil, which is the DC crossover, where they had the Injustice League versus the Justice League, and they brought in Anti-Monitor and all that stuff. They had like three crossovers.
I don't know if you could say that they brought in the Anti-Monitor, Ryan. He was a fucking cameo on the last page of the last issue of the series.
Yeah, that starts the Dark Side War and all that stuff. So, no, what I'm saying is there were three miniseries that came along with it, all right? There was Rogues Rebellion.
There's Rogues Rebellion, Arkham War.
Yeah.
And then there was...
So the conceit of the series
Argus.
is that these guys basically come in, the bad guys take over the world, and we are given three miniseries that show, okay, they go through Batman, they go through the Batman world, they go through the Flash world, and they go through kind of the Justice League world really quickly in the main series and fuck a lot of shit up. These three miniseries then take, hey, what did the Rogues do to Central City now that Central City's been destroyed? What did the villains in Arkham do when Arkham's been liberated? So these series, they don't affect the main book very much, or really at all, but they take an event and expand on it. And if you want to read, you can expand on it. I feel in fact, I feel 100% of these Secret Wars miniseries are completely standalone from the main Secret Wars title. And that doesn't have to be a problem. I mean, some of the best comics ever written are standalone books, whether it's Watchmen, Dark Knight, Killing Joke, whether it's, I'll give you Old Man Logan, I'll give you, all these, Red Sun, all these books that really do their own thing. I think the end problem with the pitch for this is it's not Age of Apocalypse. Age of Apocalypse was every book tied into the major world, and that's how you got the story. I feel the issue with these Secret Wars books, because again, I thought, we're going to get, the team's going to break up, go through all the titles, and then kind of come back to the end. But no, the Secret Wars book and and all the other miniseries are completely divorced of each other. There's nothing comes from the main book into these series and then back into the main book. And it's not even like Doom standing there going, I guess the only way you'd see that is Doom creates the world, now here's some stories.
Right.
That is
what happened.
That is what happened.
Yeah.
But I feel there was not a strong enough pitch for any of these. There's some, I liked Old Man Logan. Again, I liked Master of Kung Fu was a cool little story. I liked Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde, Marvel Zombies. So I like some of these books. I'm not saying I didn't like them. I'm blown away that they don't. The fact that the entire Marvel line didn't matter for like 6 months. Okay. That's my end problem with these.
Okay,
titles.
let me ask you a question. Did you or did you not care about more storylines from Marvel in the past 6 months than you did prior to Secret Wars?
No, absolutely not.
That is a fucking lie.
I was enjoying more of the books pre-Secret Wars than I was during Secret Wars.
I guess
what are you talking? What are you talking about?
The
what
problem
books did you like before Secret Wars? There were so many better sandbox stories during Secret Wars than beforehand.
I don't have a full
I would
list.
love to hear 4 books that you loved before Secret Wars.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man.
Guardians of the Galaxy, stop on number 1. Bendis' Guardians of the Galaxy, you were liking that?
Oh, yeah, sure. I like that. Ant-Man.
Who are you?
Squirrel Girl.
Of course you fucking like Squirrel Girl.
All New Hawkeye, really good. Most
No, you did not like fucking Hawkeye.
Silver Surfer?
No, you're fucking so full of shit.
All New Hawkeye,
Yeah, the new one, the Lemire one.
the Jeff Lemire series.
Oh, the one that had 1 issue come out?
like 5.
It did not have
Silver Surfer.
What number is that? Please tell me.
I like Silk. Silk was really good. Amazing Spider-Man was really good.
Yeah, but that just came out.
Yeah, no, I absolutely like.
You actually read Silk?
Mm-hmm. I really like.
Wait
Silk.
a minute. All right, look. So let's.
I really like Silk too. I'm just amazed he read.
Okay,
it.
so you said Agents of Atlas was really good.
Not me.
I did.
Oh, damn it!
I liked it.
Okay, A-Force, you still hate because America still.
Look, we got to move on to some TV conspiracy, but there was a handful of Secret Wars books that I liked, and we've talked about this.
Look,
in
I
previous
hear what you're
episodes.
saying. Look,
but even Old Man Logan,
I is one of the few series that I've actually finished the last issue on,
and I was a good one.
And I was like, oh,
but it's over.
That was
and it's just
good story, and that was it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna walk away now.
Yep. That's all of them. That's the problem.
Right, but it was a fucking good story, and so as long as you understand that they're all stories within the sandbox...
but they're not.
It was a greater accomplishment...
Because these characters are all gone now, except for Old Man Logan.
No, because any of these characters, I guarantee you, even if they haven't already been written into Marvel continuity... I'm using air quotes right now for our listeners... if any of them like sort of came out of the bubble, and by the way, Old Man Logan, like if this wasn't so well received, he wouldn't have like carried on.
No, he was already
they
were all already coming in.
Nope.
Yep.
If any 100%. Of them, okay,
Old
That's
Man
okay. Weird World is continuing.
But is it?
I couldn't even sell 10 copies, and Jason Aaron is writing it. What the fuck am I going to do when Sam Humphries is writing it? That book is DOA.
I just find it funny that it came out of nowhere and is continuing.
Yep.
Dude, so my point is that they have these awesome stories and characters bubble to the top, and then they continue on. Old Man Logan is continuing on. It sounds like fucking, what's his name? Archon?
Yeah, Archon.
Archon, from Weird World is like, I don't know, I fucking...
Those were all chosen.
And don't get me wrong,
started.
this is totally Marvel apologist in me coming out, so don't get me wrong. But I mean, these are awesome stories within a sandbox. You know what you're getting into. You enjoy the stories, and you fucking move on to the rest of the universe. I don't need it to be.
And that's why I think in the Forever Evil books, if you want to follow the Rogues, you then read Flash. If you want to follow Argus, you then read Justice League or Wonder Woman. The problem is almost none of these characters' stories will continue. Old Man Logan is 1.
No, but dude,
Argon
I bet
2.
Your fucking opinion is not representative. I bet that there was a ton of Cat people.
Don't forget Evil Reed Richards from Ultimate.
I bet there was a ton of Cat fans that fucking loved Planet Hulk, dude. And do you remember how that ended?
Okay.
What a whimper. But like,
none of that's not going to continue. That whole plot's done.
Right.
These plots are all done.
Like, they probably loved that story. And next month they'll get a different Cap book, but they fucking loved that story when it happened.
Okay.
And so for you to give a fucking disparaging review to the entire Marvel line
this is
totally disingenuous. To like Planet Hulk was a great story. It was in its own sandbox and it finished. And in my opinion, it finished with a whimper. But other people might have liked it more, and you are not one of them. But
I didn't care for Planet Hulk. In period.
Well, I don't even want to talk about it because the ending was just the worst to me. But there's probably other people.
So you're arguing for a bad book?
No, I wouldn't say that it was a bad book. I think that it was a just fine book that other people would probably love way more than me. But my point is that all of these books were great to some people, average to me,
of course.
terrible to you,
of course.
And the fucking
there's only a handful that were terrible. But they were all pointless.
Was more than a handful that were terrible.
They were all pointless, which is the problem. I'm not saying they were good or bad.
All the X books.
I'm not saying whether they were good or bad. That's completely subjective. I'm saying they were pointless.
And the thing is, Bryce, with them being pointless with Secret Wars and
almost
Secret Wars being so prevalent of what's going on in Marvel, and then Marvel pushing this all new, all different thing, but then the all new, all different isn't really all new and all different. It's like
but it's a troll comment for you guys to be upset about that, because that's just marketing to sell more books. Like
we are going to move on to the great TV conspiracy for the week. We have lots of TV shows to talk about here.
I'm back.
The Secret Wars argument will never end because the book's going to keep getting delayed and never come out. Oh, now that is a troll comment. Okay, now that is a troll comment.
Oh, that's your first.
We're going to very briefly, so big spoilers for stuff too if you haven't read it, or if you haven't watched the stuff. So just keep an eye out for that. Very quickly, I'll talk about Flash, because we did not actually talk about it last week because again we record when Flash is on, so we're always very behind on talking about Flash. But we did see.
We've seen 3 episodes.
I specifically want to talk about the Jay Garrick, the big episode of Jay Garrick,
episode 2,
including the fantastic homage to the Flash of Two Worlds cover, where Jay and Jay
and it was entitled Flash of Two Worlds, wasn't it? The episode?
Was that the actual name of the episode?
I'm pretty certain.
Yeah. It was something very similar to that. Yeah. Where Jay and Barry
are running around the brick wall,
the
thing,
pillar.
And
to save
somebody on the ground.
Patty.
What issue is that again? That's issue.
123 of Flash? That's not.
Come on, Flash
right.
fan.
Oh, I'm terrible with
Come on,
numbers.
Flash fan.
I'm terrible with issue numbers. Not Flash of 2 works. I love 123. I'm right. There you go. The introduction of Earth 2 and Jay Garrick. Or the reintroduction of Jay Garrick. That was a great episode. I love that homage. That was, sometimes these things get a little cheesy. That shot worked really well.
Perfect.
Really well.
And it was great. And, even if it's a little cheesy, eat up the cheese. I love it. I didn't, again, we're kind of just getting into Flash and Arrow, not a lot of big stuff to talk about. So I don't want to, and I haven't seen Gotham this week yet. I don't want to go too long on those. Do you guys have any?
I haven't seen Gotham from this week yet.
Flash, Arrow, Gotham comments from the last couple of weeks? Anything you wanted to jump on here?
I don't know. My brain still thinks for Supergirl and Walking Dead.
Well, that's what we're talking next. We did see the Killer Frost costume.
Yeah.
That's, I'm assuming, one of these, Earth 2 come overs. Oh, yeah. That looks amazing. She looks great in that.
I keep thinking it's Elsa, though. I was like, go look.
Evil
Caitlin became Elsa.
Evil Elsa?
Well, I think that
it looks badass. She looks so badass.
For Flash, I think it's going along. going along really well with Flash. I mean, they're dealing with those anomalies now. You know, and we got to see Captain Cold and Golden Glider and stuff.
I actually really liked that episode.
That was a really good episode too. That was a real solid episode.
So everything's building really, really well, and I'm excited for this week's episode with the other part of Firestorm coming into play.
Yeah,
Ronnie, right?
Well, Ronnie's the original.
No, who's the Jason?
It's not Jason though. It's another character. It's a new character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Robbie Amell, Ronnie Raymond, the other half of Firestorm, is supposedly coming back at some point. I think he's on a new show or a new movie.
X-Files?
Oh yeah, that's right. He's on X-Files, huh? That's what it was.
Yes.
So he's off for I think this season, but I think he is coming back at some point. And Firestorm in the comics has gone between multiple people, so this isn't breaking continuity or anything.
So I'm really excited to see where Flash is going. They're doing a great job. 3 episodes in is still running solid. I think Arrow's picked up a lot.
I'm loving
in the first 3 episodes.
Season's been fantastic so far.
Damien Dark's been just a really badass character, and makes me drool because we're going to
Toby's giving us the look.
Well, you guys keep talking. I'll have my say later.
You got what's her face back? You got the better.
I'll let Brock finish. I'll add my thing at the end. Go for it,
you got
Brock.
Sarah back.
Yeah. But no, it's I'm just drooling that we're going to get Constantine soon. It's just soon, teasing it so much.
Weeks.
And I've liked the pacing that Arrow's done. It's gone a little bit faster than last season. So definitely cool stuff. And it's nice to see them having Double Down, even though he's not necessarily the best character. Know what I mean? They use him very well in that last episode.
Yeah, he was fine. Some shitty Gambit ripoff or something, but he was fine. I mean, Gambit ripoff.
I have my say after Brock.
No eyes from the end of the table.
I have my say afterwards.
I know that was
I actually thought he was kind of a cool Gambit ripoff.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know about a Gambit ripoff.
I thought he was fine. I liked him.
All I know is that anytime the words Gambit ripoff comes out of your mouth, it's just like, ugh. Gambit.
Yeah, he's smiling saying that.
Gambit is such a ripoff.
For this side of the table.
So dirty just defending Gambit.
So, Toby, what are your thoughts?
I think the exact opposite of all you guys right now.
Really?
I'm dead serious. You said it's faster. I think it's slower. You guys are saying it's really picked up. I think it's really let go. I think Damien Dark is freaking annoying and lame.
I like him.
No, I am totally the opposite of you guys this time. And I love Flash last season. I really thought it slowed down quite a bit, and I'm not liking it as much this season.
Flash?
Yeah.
First episode didn't thrill me, but I thought 2 and 3.
I have to say, I really liked the Captain Cold storyline. Yeah. But that was really cool. But other than that, I was like, everything is a little boring. We're just kind of going through the notion. Same over on Arrow. Motions. Yeah. Motion. Thank you very much. Same thing over on Arrow. I was like, we're going through the motions again. And
well, in Flash, they're building up to Zoom. He's just kind of threatening the background.
Yeah, fucking give me Zoom then. Don't build up to it. It's a little too slow for me, man. Okay. Not after last season stuff.
Well, last season
was like in my fucking face.
Oh yeah.
This season is not in my face anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, are all 3 episodes better than any 3 episodes last season? No. I would say the first episode
I think they're
was a little
lower
slow.
than any of the last seasons. Captain Cole, arguably, and maybe not. But
2 and 3, I would argue were
they're cool because Jay Garrick is in it. Take that away. What's good about the episode?
I'd say
he's plot-wise, but you know what I mean.
I'd say none of these have been as good as any of the best episodes from last season.
Sorry.
But I'd say they're on average from last season.
Episodes.
Yeah, I think they're solid, but they're not. I mean, we haven't had that killer episode this season.
Yeah, no, we haven't. I think they're a little cheesier now, and there's nothing wrong with being cheesy. We'll talk about Supergirl later, but there's a little cheesier now, and the Arrow hasn't gotten to me, man. It's and I kind of like what they're doing with Speedy. She's a little bit Jason Toddish now. They're totally writing her like that. I kind of like that stuff.
I think she's the one character that has gotten way better this season.
No, I think she's the most interesting thing about the show right now. But other than that, I haven't seen anything I like.
You didn't
in
like
Arrow
the
yet.
T-spheres?
The what?
Oh yeah, the T-spheres.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
Actually, I like the guy they casted for Mr. Terrific. He seems all right, but I don't know. Other than that, I'm fairly bored with both shows right now.
All right,
I'm waiting. I mean, I'm not hating on them. Sure. It's just like I'm waiting. I'm not impressed yet.
Charlie,
I don't know. So last season, even though it had Ra's al Ghul in it,
I thought that was a horrible season. Sorry, Chuck.
I did not feel that it was as good as the previous seasons on Arrow.
We agree.
I feel like this season has course corrected quite a bit, even though it's so weird, but I cannot get used to them calling him Green Arrow on the show yet. It just every time it sounds awkward. Sort of wrong.
No. I'm the opposite. Every time they say Green Arrow and Star City, I'm like, yep, and that's always what they were called.
Yep. I can imagine Ryan watching TV with Leanne go, yep. This is exactly how it says.
I have gone back in my head and re-edited the first 3 seasons for just say Green Arrow and Star City every time, and I'm like, perfect.
Well, I think for the Arrow also, I mean, we got Ray Palmer's still gone, and we haven't.
Well, he's coming back soon.
But that's the whole stuff with the phone.
Yeah, I know, but we're getting we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more coming from Green Arrow than you think.
My only wonder is if maybe it's a little slow because they're building up to the mid-season break and the.
That's fine. It's just I'm judging on the 3 episode of scene, right? Yeah. I'm not judging on the future episodes. Yeah. So the first 3 episodes, I'm sorry, I find them not as good as. I feel like Arrow is in the same vein as last season, which in my mind was not a very good season at all. So hopefully it gets better. I really do. I mean, I'm still a fan of both shows, obviously. I'm not hating on it.
None of you like what's going on the island?
The island thing is
it's all
weird.
year one.
It's
all year one.
Yeah. But they're just.
Sweet.
I have a feeling this is the end of the flashbacks. The end of this season.
The year one stuff.
He'll be rescued.
I'm a little tired of Captain Lance also a little bit. A little bit.
I think he may be gone after the season, too.
I think so, too. That might be a good thing for a show. I mean, sometimes there's characters have a good arc, and when they're done, right? Yeah, so, again, I don't want to hate on the show just yet.
Yeah.
But, I'm hoping it turns around. Just based on the first 3, it's been a little lackluster for me.
Well, related, I am very excited for Heroes and Villains Comic Fest.
Yes.
Coming up in San Jose in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weekends. From this upcoming weekend.
It's only 2 weekends?
I think it's it's the 21st, 22nd.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
3 weekends. It's like 3 weeks from now. Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5 weeks.
My homie got announced as an official guest.
Yep, Lord.
And all the prints should be in the mail except for 3 guys. You haven't given me your addresses yet.
A lot of people have gotten those prints from Lord, so that's great.
I'm sorry it took so long. A day job has kept me away, but finally I got it done.
Very excited to see a lot of these guys there, and I'm waiting on that Arrow group shot to go up.
Yeah, man. You gonna do it?
Depends on what the price is, but I'm really thinking it.
Are we allowed to group the group shot? Are we allowed to do a comic conspiracy group shot with the Arrow group shot?
The photos are for 2 people.
Oh!
But maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe?
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Group the group shot.
So, I'm excited for this.
I'm still tempted by those 2 canaries, yo.
Well, if I don't do that, I'm doing John Barrowman and Stephen Amell.
John Barrowman is the man.
And then the 2 canaries.
There you go. Although I can't call him, I have to call him Captain Jack.
And maybe Caitlin from Flash.
Ooh, Caitlin.
Caitlin
is like a must.
Let's talk about some Supergirl.
Supergirl. Everybody's on their phone.
A lot of
first half, I was on the phone. Everybody else was on the phone. It's kind of funny.
A lot of people saw the Supergirl pilot already because it leaked a while ago.
I've ignored it.
I did not. Watched it when it came live on TV, and now we have it, and we're going to talk about the pilot here.
All right.
Thoughts? What do you guys think?
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Not yet.
I actually really liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would.
Bryce, any interest? Supergirl?
No,
okay.
Less than 0 interest.
Okay.
What's a good? Let's see here.
Rained.
Yep. If you were to offer me, a beer, or as long as it's an IPA, or to watch Supergirl, I would take the beer every time. If you were to say I give you 2 beers to watch Supergirl or 1 beer to not, I would take 1 beer to not.
Okay.
Oh. How about 1 beer to not watch it, no beer to watch Generation X or Supergirl? Wait, that didn't work.
Didn't work.
Never mind.
Nope. Toby.
Yes.
We heard Charlie. I mean, I'm like a category. Charlie's in like a category. What's your take, pilot?
I will say I was surprised also because based on the trailer, I thought I was really going to hate it. It is still as cheesy as I thought it was going to be, but there's some more elements on there that, were a little surprising that caught me by surprise, and I thought it was a good for story elements.
Yeah. Melissa Benoist. I believe
she did really good.
I believe that's how you pronounce her name too. I looked it up. That's what it says.
She carried the show really, really well, I have to say.
So, like the
You're
Flash,
gonna disagree with me, aren't you?
No, absolutely not. Like the Flash and Arrow trailers before the shows, the 6-minute trailers, a tenth of the episode, right?
Yeah. The pilot just edited that.
Yeah, we basically saw the pilot already in that teaser. So I already kind of knew a lot of the major beats, but watching the episode, she's great. And I think probably my favorite thing about the episode, my favorite thing about the show is that it's not Arrow. It's not trying to be dark. It's light and fun.
Well, it's worked really well with Flash.
And adventure.
It's Metropolis. Metropolis is always
it's not Metropolis.
No, it's not Metropolis.
Yeah,
Where
it's
is she?
National City, which is
okay.
a reference to National Periodics, also what DC was called before they were called DC Comics.
But that's
not
the
a real
is,
thing from the comics.
That's the thing. Like Gotham's always been a kind of a darker city.
Yeah,
Metropolis is a lighter city.
It is.
Star City is kind of.
There is
a mix.
Yeah, there is violence in the show, but it even the darker stuff felt. I don't want to say soap opera-ish because that comes off the wrong. Trying to explain how it feels, but it's
CBS, right?
Yeah,
they did a good job CBSing it.
Yeah, sure,
and it did very well in the ratings.
It did very well.
What
in
does
the
that
ratings.
even mean? CBSing it?
If you don't know, don't worry about it.
Well, no, I want to know.
I think it's
because I got plenty of dark shows. You're talking about Criminal Minds and stuff like that.
Okay.
What are you talking about? CBSing it?
CBSing it.
What he means is it's an 8:00 family friendly adventure
CBS?
show. Supergirl.
Yeah, but he's calling CBSing it. We're talking about the channel that has all the CSIs.
Again,
has
I
the
don't
personal
think
interest.
he means. I will not
8
defend
o'clock
Brock.
slot.
I will not defend Brock. But what I will say is this:
Criminal Minds. Yeah, it's all these dark shows, right?
There is
murder,
there
mayhem.
There is network family shows.
ABC, more likely.
ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, they all have them. They all have them, right? They all have them. So having Supergirl, it's not... Again, it's made by the guys who do Flash and Arrow. It feels closer to Flash, but it feels like its own thing. I don't think it's nearly as...
You would have had a better argument saying it was CW'd. Then I would believe you a little more.
But I don't think it is. I feel it feels different than...
That's why I said it's CBS. It's not. It doesn't have that CW.
I really don't
networked.
agree.
It's not CW'd.
I really don't agree, guys.
But it's made by the same guys as Flash and Arrow.
Well, that's the thing is,
so,
if you look at like shows like Fox has their style that they put on those family things. They have, NBC has their way of putting spin on the family things. Right, I'm not talking about in general. You're watching the stuff that's on later on at night. It's
no,
not
those are
stuff,
8:00 shows.
Okay, but those are 8:00 shows on certain days that are aimed at an older
what
audience.
Are family shows on CBS? What are family shows on CBS though?
Again, I'm trying to defend Brock and say he means network, but maybe he doesn't. Whatever, doesn't matter.
No.
Anyway,
that's what I'm meaning by it. But
Anyway, it doesn't matter. This isn't Gotham at all. Gotham is like the darkest of the dark. Then Arrow, then Flash, then this. This is the PG show of all of them so far.
Which it
why
should be.
did they put it on at the same time as Gotham? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's networks. Again, this is the problem of ratings and none of this shit should matter.
It's just super weird.
Well, again, here's the thing.
It's
They're trying to capture
Gotham,
that demo.
If people...
Actually, both shows were up. Supergirl did really well, and Gotham's ratings were higher.
But they're still trying to... so I did not know that, but I would say that they are still trying to capture the same demo.
Well, if people think Gotham is too dark or they don't like the darker shows, Supergirl is the lighter alternative.
No, I'll tell you what. I guarantee you, if Gotham was a Berlanti show, it wouldn't have been head-to-head. I guarantee you that one. I guarantee you that one. Just because it's not his show, he doesn't care.
Well, so Variety says 12.9 million people watched the show live. It came off of Big Bang Theory, kept 76% of the audience, which is pretty good. 58% of the 18 to 34 demographic were female, but the male-female mix was a little more even at the full 18 to 49. And it was compared to other shows debuted this fall, it is the number one ranked for adults, 18 to 49. So
it also did better than the Flash premiere, right?
Yep.
And it did better than the Arrow premiere.
Yep. Only outmatched by Fear the Walking Dead, Empire, and Better Call Saul, which
Empire's pretty good.
Better Call Saul is back on?
No.
The premiere.
The premiere.
Yeah, so very strong The Flash and Arrow 4.1 and 4.8 million. So this is 3 times those. Even another 50% over Gotham's premiere. And it beat out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. So which was obviously a big push. So clearly we'll see what long term ratings on the show is, but I think DC and CBS are probably very happy with the premiere, and
I'm sure
it was fun. She's great. Melissa Benoit is.
I mean, she's fantastic on the show.
She's perfect.
I was thoroughly surprised. Like she really carried.
I'm already having conversations with customers today about I can't wait for season 2 when they introduce the Legion of Superheroes. Like, I want this to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to say, what really surprised me was the relationship between her and Spoiler, I guess, her sister.
Okay.
I thought that worked really well, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole that she's part of the
DEO. Yeah.
I was going to say DEA. Sorry. DEO. I thought that worked really well, and she comes off a little Indish, too.
Department of Extra Normal Operations.
Chase.
Created by a regular customer of the store, Dan Curtis Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yep, who created Chase and the DEO, put Mr. Bones in there, and I would love if Chase or Batwoman or Mr. Bones or any of those guys showed up in the show. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
they have the opportunity. If they wanted to
they can
put Batwoman in this show,
yeah,
they could through the DEO, and that would be incredible. That'd be huge.
That'd be huge.
That's like a season 2, season 3 like boost up, right?
Yeah. Is this a full season, by the way, or is it 13 episodes?
I think it's full
is
season.
it full 26er?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or 22 or whatever, yeah.
I mean, real quick, I thought the pilot was really good. It was really solid.
You were very... I'm happy to hear that, because
I was very against
down on it.
Yeah, and, I still don't think I'm the target audience for it, which is totally fine. And some of the stuff is a little cheesy for me, but I think all in all it worked together really well, and it's setting up a lot of storylines, and I'm really looking forward to it. So...
I have one major complaint.
Yeah.
And I hope it's just like a weird pilot thing.
And I think so. There's a lot of weird pilot-y things going on in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of info dump, which is understandable.
Yeah.
They need to just stop going around the word Superman. That kind of got annoying.
Did they ever say it?
No.
Ever?
No.
Huh.
I don't believe so. Maybe like the very beginning of the episode.
I was a little bit bummed that Dean Cain was her Earth dad. I was like, slowly.
There are regulars in the show.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
Both and Helen,
Yep.
the original
Yeah,
Supergirl.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Yeah, I was semi hoping that he could maybe be the TV Superman, but I guess not. But it's all good.
Yeah, it's anyway. They have a very brief role in this, but I believe they were going. I don't know. I shouldn't say series regular. They will be reoccurring characters.
Okay,
on the
that's
show.
cool.
Yeah.
So the big TV talk?
Yeah. Supergirl. Everyone should go watch it.
No.
Well, we'll talk about Walking Dead now. I definitely want to talk about Walking Dead. I feel like we haven't talked enough about this season, because the season has been fucking fantastic. But this week's episode.
Broke the internet?
I was online. I was just checking my phone. We were finished up the sale on the weekend, and then all of a sudden, this was like Red Wedding level of like every single person on my Twitter feed was like, "Fuck, Walking Dead, fuck!" all at the same time. So I immediately turned off my phone, and when I will look at this after I watched the episode. So I watched the episode, and we're gonna. Potentially big spoilers here, but we'll talk about this in a second. What is wrong with everyone? Has no one read a comic book before? Does no one know how Walking Dead works? If you really freaked out over this episode of Walking Dead...
Well, I wasn't freaked out because Charlie was not banging on my window and going, "Toby!" So I was like, it can't be that serious if Charlie hasn't done that yet. So
So we've had the herd. We've had the big, gigantic group of zombies going, and they've been, they're trying to maneuver the herd around.
Just, can you...
Spoiler fight?
No, because I've seen the first 2 episodes of the last season, because I'm on the Netflix calendar.
Okay.
Oh.
So I'm behind. I've seen
Quite a bit.
herd, and I've...
No, you haven't.
Wait, no.
That's this season.
You've seen a herd.
Yeah. Not the herd.
That was the fucking herd. There's a second herd that's bigger than that one?
Oh, there is the
herd.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, we're gonna.
Yes, exactly.
Dude, because...
Do you want to step outside for 5 minutes? Or
that would help your podcast. So I'm at the episode...
Because we're gonna...
I'm over a season behind, but there's this
Do you watch any of the Fear yet?
eating old boy's leg.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where I
Yeah.
am. So
Okay.
I'm behind. So I'm all...
You're still at Terminus.
Yeah.
Or just,
No. The episode, they cleared it out, Terminus.
Yeah, but you're at the tail end of Terminus stuff.
Yeah, the new season where Terminus is done. Yes, I'm still at Terminus.
No, they were the most of last season. They were at the new place, right?
Yeah.
They were at Alexandria
But they get to Alexandria this season?
last season.
The season that I'm on?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fucking going outside. God damn it.
So when Rick gets his head cut off, guys, I mean, I don't know.
Wait, but he puts it back on like Deadpool.
Man, Daryl just went down like there was nobody's
Why
business.
Why is it raining so much?
Oh, fuck me. Is it raining?
Well, go outside.
I'm not going anywhere, Higgins.
Okay.
Just outside.
Yeah, go outside.
supposed to rain
We'll
tomorrow.
tell you when to come back in. So you have the herd,
Yes.
and then maneuvering of the herd and all the stuff they've been doing with that.
Yes.
You have the groups are split up. You have Rick and his group off, and you have the people that are back.
Well, you Rick by himself now.
Well, right. You have the wolves
yeah.
attack
Yeah.
in the second episode, which was fucking
That was a crazy episode.
That was brutal.
such a brutal.
Dude, don't you just
Brutal.
love Rambo woman? Like, with drawing the W on her face and start shooting people and going...
She is
Carol is fucking badass. in
Yeah.
that episode.
Carol this season.
Straight up pull the Rambo.
I almost forgot that Carol's the best character in the show. Because you're like, last season, you're like, yeah, okay, she's kind of like... Holy
There's a lot of
hell.
stuff that happens with that girl and having to put that girl down.
Yeah.
From what? So that was season 3.
You'll never get like... Was it we Carol had the fucking rocket launcher or something like that? Like, well, okay, we'll never get that again. But she just fucking kills fools left and right in that second episode. She's just like, oh, what's going on? Bang, bang, bang. Okay, just fucking stab this guy in the head. Oh, this guy got bit. Pfft, kill this guy. All right, she is a fucking killing. She's a fucking Terminator in this episode. Oh, fucking amazing! And that second episode was so good. Yeah. Then this past week's, Charlie's got something to say.
I'm just going to say that the first 3 episodes of this season have had a much higher body count than anything we've seen recently. Like, just...
I mean, this one they were dropping like flies. Yeah.
Well, we're back with Rick and the group of
herders
of characters that will last an episode, let alone a season.
I hope the new guy with the glasses stays.
I
really like him. Actually.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
The black
like the afro and the sunglasses.
Yeah,
glasses.
He's in the comics.
So then Rick's group who were leading the herd are now heading back to Alexandria because they hear the commotion. Now, you're caught up at you're way ahead of me on the books, Brock. You're current, basically.
Yeah.
Do you want to know a fun side thing? Completely side thing? The guy that's the son of the woman that runs Alexandria, the weak guy, I think he's dating Daisy in S.H.I.E.L.D. in real life.
Oh, really?
I thought that was really kind of funny. Yeah.
Weird.
Right,
sorry, sidetrack.
I mean, I know the herd is in the comics. But a lot of this stuff is like the wolves aren't. But is that Negan's?
I think
group?
the wolves are going to be something tied with Negan.
Yeah,
I think that's how they're doing it. Again, reading the comic and then watching the show,
elements are the same.
The essence of the comic is in the show.
Yeah,
and with that, reading the comic book is an easy transition if you've watched the show first.
Right.
Currently, right now, they've jumped ahead.
Yeah.
A lot more in the book than they used to.
Yeah.
So, because I know Charlie, you're only caught up to 100.
No, I'm at like 120 or something like that. Wherever the 5th slipcase left off.
I think it's like 20 in the book. Yeah.
Yeah. So so basically, right now we've jumped ahead. So all of this stuff that we're seeing in here is. Like currently with the rock quarry, that wasn't in the comic.
Right.
The idea of the herd has been in the comic before.
Right. That's what I was saying.
But
I mean, this is a different.
This is different in the sense of they took a really cool idea saying, all right, we need to introduce this and how can we do it? And showing the herd in how, like, all of these zombies got collected in one area.
Right.
And, it was great to see them kind of trickle out, like, like just drop, a leak out of a cup or something.
Right. I love that stuff. That was such a great...
and then them trying to figure out what is the best way possible to deal with this where it's not going to be so... I mean, you could throw gasoline down there or whatever and light them on fire, but then you have a huge fire that you have to deal with, and then you have to put it out. Or...
Right. Well,
do we just take them so Rick's doing the redirect thing? So we have...
Yeah. So I want to... Because what I wanted to get to is the issue 100 spoiler, but then the spoiler from this episode.
Yeah. So in this episode, Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha, they're the ones that are leading the herd away on the road. So Daryl's on the bike, and the other two are in the car.
Right.
The noise happens, and part of the herd breaks off.
Right. So
yeah,
the big thing from this episode. I mean, we don't have to go into all the specifics of the episode, but the big thing in this episode, and why I know it's not real, is because of you never want to know what's coming up in a show, but knowing that characters like Negan are going to be around, and knowing that, and knowing how these things work, a major death, and there is a potential major death in this episode. It doesn't happen like this, and that's how you know it's not real.
Well, I tell you why it's not real. I tell you right now why it's not real.
In this episode,
I tell you why it's not real.
Well, hold on. We'll say it, and then we'll go on.
Okay.
At the end of this episode, it is believed that that Glenn is killed. He is in a dead end alleyway. He's fighting off the zombies with I forget the guy's name. The guy that was fighting him that tried to kill Nicholas.
Yeah,
not Charlie's son, but Nicholas.
They tried to kill him, and now they're kind of friends. And they're up there on top of a dumpster, and they're like, and Nicholas, he's like looking around. He's like, I'm fucked. The world's fucked. He puts a gun to his head, blows his brains out all over on Glenn. Falls on the Glenn. Glenn and him fall on the ground. All the zombies, and the zombies kill Glenn. At least that is the spoiler as it is.
Well, they pull his stomach out of his chest, out of Glenn.
So that is why Glenn is not dead. Not a chance.
Because they're pulling the stomach out of the wrong place.
What happened is the guy falls on top of Glenn. The zombies are clearly eating this guy that is now dead on top of Glenn. You do not see a full body shot of Glenn getting torn apart. If a character like fucking Glenn is dying, they are gonna milk that shit in all its gory details.
They might do that the next episode.
Well,
Here's what's gonna happen. So what happened is he's able to push off. He hides under the dumpster. He's able to maneuver the dumpster around. None of the zombies can get to him. He pushes the dumpster through the herd.
Charlie's shaking his head, though.
In some fashion, he goes into the sewers, whatever. He gets away.
Yeah.
Here's what happens. Now, again, it's spoilers for the comic as well, which we've talked about this before. So, big spoilers for Walking Dead. Everyone thinks he's dead. He's going to get back to the group. Negan's going to be there. The last scene of the last episode this season is going to be him getting killed by Negan.
By John Draper?
That is my guess. Because that's how he's gone, we never see him again, and then all of a sudden, we get that flashback, we have a whole episode focused around him, and then he gets killed off.
The only reason I was shaking my head is because I was thinking about it today, and with everything going on, nobody fucking remembered what they learned in, season 1.
Cover yourself with the guts.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sure. That too.
Yeah.
That's right. However, he is not dead. If you think he's dead, you've not been watching the show.
Can I tell you why I guarantee you that he's not dead?
Why's that?
Because I guess he was not featured in the Deadology thing that they do in The Talking Dead.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so you know how they always say goodbye to the people that died?
Yeah, he wasn't on.
He wasn't on. Well, I haven't watched it, but I've been told he wasn't on there.
Normally they have the big characters on that die. So when
they
dad died,
yeah,
they had him on Talking Dead right after, and Glenn wasn't on.
There you go. So Glenn's not dead.
No,
he will be killed probably pretty soon.
No,
but he's not dead yet.
No, he will not be killed. You gotta keep the one token Asian guy alive for the rest of all eternity.
They totally could keep him, right? I mean, who knows what they're going to do?
Well, the thing is with the foreshadowing they did in last season with the baseball bat.
I mean, they focus on that bat for heartbeat longer than they need.
But then he's holding it.
Yeah.
So there's, I think they have this planned. I think what they were trying to do with this is they were this might be them testing the waters. Like them maybe going,
what if they kill Maggie instead?
That could be a possibility.
Totally she gets beat by Negan? Possible.
That'd be kind of
so it's
crazy.
It kind of just depends. I mean, because Andrea's gone.
Yeah.
But in the comic books, she's there.
She's part of it, yeah.
Carol isn't in the comic books.
Right.
But she's part of... So it's...
They could switch any of this stuff
They could easily
around.
switch any of this stuff up. But I think that maybe what they're trying to do with this is they're trying to test the waters because, they've had major characters die, but they haven't had really core characters die.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have
the main
we
couple
still have
people.
Rick, we still have Carol, we still have Daryl, we still have
Michonne.
We still
those
have...
5. Those are the 5 that I think are unlikely to die anytime soon. Those 5.
Well, this episode they did Rick hurt his hand real bad.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay.
Yeah.
They're not gonna they've said that they are not chopping off.
No, they're not
hand.
cutting his hand off. No.
So all right, should we let Bryce back in?
Let's let Bryce in here. We'll answer a couple questions and then we'll wrap up. We're recording very long tonight. Someone just go bang on the window. Got a question here from Rigo, and I feel like this is asked just for Toby.
Rigo?
He says, I've noticed the massive amount of variants that are coming out with Dark Knight Returns 3, which looks awesome. I wanted to know, when you guys buy variant covers, do you only buy the ones where they show Maggie getting gutted on the episode of Walking Dead? Oh, fuck, did I just say that out loud?
Bastard.
I
actually thought you were for real. So I was like, what?
Are you guys talking about how terrible these covers by Frank Miller have been for Dark Knight 3?
Oh, you have not were you not here for the penis episode? They wouldn't stop talking about Superman's penis.
A couple episodes.
Like, they would just not stop. I was like, guys, enough with the penis already. They were like, no, his cock and his red under trousers.
What?
Yes. The whole time they wouldn't stop.
I wanted to know, when you guys buy variants, is it more to be completionist of a certain set you're collecting, or because you really enjoy the cover? Much love. I always enjoy listening to the podcast. And Man of Steel was awesome. Thank you, Rigo. Yes, it was.
Bryce, you came back right in the right moment.
Not awesome. In fact, unawesome. And -1 to your coolness points. Who was that, by the way?
His name is Rigo.
Rigo. -1 Rigo points? No, that doesn't work.
Toby, you're a big variant guy.
I just buy what I like.
Yep.
In fact, if it's a regular comic and they have 2 covers, I generally just get the one I like and let the other one be. However, since I'm a crazy person, when I like both covers, I will buy both covers. But it is basically either the artist I really like or the covers is really cool.
See, for me, I actually come from the completionist point of view because I used to buy a lot of variant covers for basically any book I was getting, but fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Because some of it gets too expensive. But my 2 big guys, Graham Morrison and Jeff Johns, hard to let go. I don't care what the art is. I like their books, so I try to buy all the covers.
You buy all the covers
of all their titles.
I tend to go off of if it's a cover I like.
Like, I don't have any of those Justice League 1 in 100 covers. I have like the very first one,
yeah.
But I don't have any of the other Justice League 1 in 100 covers. Like, I'm not going to go spend $100 on a variant cover.
I think it is actually because of that got me going. Like, I should just get the ones I like.
Yeah.
Once it got to a point where there's variant covers I just can't get, normal, or I really should not getting them logically.
Yeah.
That's when I started to learn and go, look, I should really just buy the ones I really like and let it be.
Yeah. See, if Graham Morrison started working for Marvel again, they got him one of these all new Marvel books with 19 variant covers. I'm screwed. So.
Now, I have to say, if it's like a Gambit... I'm sorry, Charlie. If it's a Gambit book, I will buy all the covers. I think the character matters, too.
Yeah, sure.
For me, it's all about the price point and the artists. I am perfectly willing to buy a variant.
You're going to buy
cover.
these Alex Ross Batman variants that are coming out in December.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just, you give me the right artist and you give me the right price point, and I'm more than happy to spend the money. It's
Charlie,
just,
you're lying.
Don't try to charge me $100 for an Alex Ross. I won't buy it.
Charlie, you're lying. Because you just buy the omnibus and that has all the covers inside already.
Well, that's after I've already bought certain covers and stuff.
Like this, what was it, Star Wars Alex Ross? You like the one without any title?
Which still pissed me off that they didn't do that for any of the others, because I really wanted those.
Got a question. Got a question here from Matthew. He says, "Hey gang, thanks for the great podcast. About a year ago, I was listening to some other comic podcast,
and they're a lot better than yours. You guys should really get better."
and they mentioned Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 7, which features the first appearance of the Champion of the Universe and features Marvel's best boxing tournament featuring Thing, Namor, Hulk, Colossus, Sasquatch, Thor, Doc Samson, and Wonder Man. Bryce is like, I need this comic.
Dude, that is an incredible story. And by the way, Thing wins.
He says,
I hate everybody on that list except for the Champion of the Universe.
It is that
I
awesome.
still think that the Thing wins.
It's also a great find in a bargain bin, or was until its superiority was brought to light. Are there any single issues that you would classify as bargain bin worth every hard-earned quarter you would spend on them?
Oh, this isn't
any books that me and Higgins like.
Yeah. There's a lot of garbage to sort through in comic shop bargain bins when you bargain bin one-shots.
Silver Sable number 1. You could probably get it for a penny at this point.
Come to mind as fun or ridiculous reads. Thanks, Maddie.
Oh, that's a fucking totally separate question. There's like every single comic book from either DC or Marvel from all the 80s. They're all incredible.
No, what always gets me going through bargain bins is, especially when you get into like the quarter bins or whatnot, is when I start seeing like X-Force number 1s in there. I'm like, well, then I have to buy it again because it's
I do that too.
But do you guys have any like specific ones that you've picked up that are just like a one shot? Is what he's asking here.
Like
Specifically, I mean, because half my collection comes from quarter bins.
Yeah,
right?
you New Warriors, my New Warriors.
I picked up my near entire run of New Teen Titans, including number 2, which is the first appearance of Deathstroke, which is now like a $300 comic in quarter bins.
Wow.
So, yeah, not anymore, unfortunately, but. Yeah. I think number 1 was the only one I actually paid real money for.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hipster.
Wait,
they're all bound now.
Oh, yeah.
My problem is I just don't have the patience to go through quarter bins the way I used to.
Well, when you're quarter bin diving, I don't have a specific one that jumps out, but annuals, specials, one-shots, number 1 issues.
Yeah.
For a quarter, they're big stories.
Oh, man. Any of the John Byrne She-Hulks are great.
Any prestige format ones.
What else? Darkhawk is great. Yeah, any of the books that Higgins really likes that are not written by Grant Morrison are in quarter bins.
All right, I got one more email, then I have a couple real quick...
It does hurt me, though, quite a bit when I have books I love that I bought for normal price and then go into quarter bins and I realize like 80% of my collection is in quarter bins. So I'm better off not buying my stuff.
Yeah. This is a good one for all of us. It's from Dennis. Says, "Dear greetings, Comic Conspiracy. With Ryan, myself, being an avid Disney park attendee now, which I am, no doubt he's seen and experienced some of the craziness that goes into Disney pin trading and collecting.
Yes, we have all seen Ryan at it.
Before I continue this email, yes, I now am. I'm not one of the crazy people, but I guess you do buy Disney pins.
You're on your way.
It's brutal. He says, while I bought a few pins here and there going to the park, I never called myself a pin collector. Then Q and Marvel Scotty Young designs as an exclusive pin set at both San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con.
Oh, funny you should mention that because we still have some in the store.
We do have some. He says, while I didn't want all of them, I wanted most of them. I spent 5 hours to try to get the full set of pins to split among a few friends on Comic-Con. And since I wasn't there, I've been refreshing eBay to get the New York Comic-Con pins I want from resellers. Never thought I'd be a pin collector, yet here I am now. My question to you guys is this. Besides comic books and action figures, which is something that you'd...
Well, that's a dangerous question.
What is something you never thought you'd collect, yet somehow are now waist deep in collecting? Ryan can't say Amiibo, since we already know about it.
Yeah, you fucking talk about it all the time. Jesus.
I love Amiibo.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Thank you, Dennis. What is something that you never thought you would collect? Because the Disney pin thing is totally my answer. I never in a million years would have thought I would have got into that, and I totally did. It, like, again, not as crazy as some of these guys, but I definitely buy them.
DC Comics.
Hello.
Because I went through a little mini rabbit hole when I had more money than family, and when those situations reversed, the spending reversed. But yeah, I never thought I'd be into DC Comics, and the whole Jeff Johns thing, man. Fucking love Jeff Johns. Love Green Lantern. They had their moment in the sun with me, which is no longer the case.
Oh, well, we all know I have a big collecting problem. As in, I collect everything I like. Literally, I like it, I'll start collecting it.
But was there something that surprised you that you started collecting?
I just thought about it right now, but the one that actually surprises me, which maybe I guess isn't a surprise, is I always love Legos. But never in a million years did I think later on I would actually collect it, though.
I never heard you talk about Lego until fairly recently. And, like, you went in, like, deep.
I went in deep end with that stuff. But, I always loved Lego as a kid. In fact, even as an adult, I loved the sets, but I never thought I would start collecting it, though. Yeah. I mean, with all the superheroes and all the cool buildings they started having, and now the Ghostbuster thing is coming out, and, the Doctor Who sets, I was like, Jesus freaking Christ. You like, merged all the things I liked into... Legos I liked already, and then you put the other things I like into Legos. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of royally fucked here.
Yeah.
And then the cool buildings. I mean, I'm making my superhero cities. I'm buying all the modular sets so that I could build my superhero city. I'm collecting all the characters. I even started collecting all the Bullet characters because I wanted a blue Nightwing, and he's so expensive on its own, so I had to buy a blue Nightwing. But the Lego thing really, really got me out of the blue, and I never thought I was going to get it. Like the Turtles, they had Ninja Turtles Legos, and I had to originally get the fake Mego ones, or Mego thing, and then they came out with real Legos, and I was like, God damn, I have to get those too. And I'm going to create a sewer system underneath my city for the Turtles. And then I want to put LED lights into the windows.
So obviously Toby has an answer to this question, is where we're going with it.
Yeah.
Charlie.
I love Legos.
Is there anything that you've... Because you don't collect stuff. No. You don't collect stuff that I don't already know about. Like, I don't know that you have like a weird, like, you Doctor Who stuff, comic books. Like, that's all. I get that. I don't know of a something you rent. Those chess pieces. That feels maybe.
Why would that
makes
be
sense.
a surprise?
But it's not right. Yeah. Or does all your stuff kind of make sense to you?
All my stuff pretty much makes sense to me. Now, mind you, I go overboard just like any collector, but it all kind of follows suit into, I like my stuff.
Yeah.
And my movies. And,
Brock?
Yeah, not really.
Nothing kind of surprised you about what you got?
No.
All right. Got a handful of tweets here. We're going to go through these pretty quick. It's from Keith. He says, what exactly does Jim Lee do for DC as a publisher?
What exactly did he do when he was at Wildstorm?
DC,
same thing.
DC actually Jim Lee, I actually know the answer to this. Jim Lee deals with the digital first comics and the artists. So he deals with... He's kind of like the artist editor and the digital comics publisher.
Which is to say that he's earned his retirement.
Well,
okay.
no.
Well, I think he's still working.
A lot of what...
he deals with half of DC Comics in the entire... digital publishing.
You think that Jim Lee's working 40 hours a week, Ryan?
Yes.
Jim Lee?
Yeah.
No,
more.
he works like probably 80 hours a week.
I totally disagree with that.
What?
So
he is co-publisher of one of the two biggest comic book publishers. They work. They don't have like 9 to 5 jobs. They have 9 to 5 jobs, and then they work all night too. Like him and Dan Didio are and Alex Alonso and Tom Brevoort. These guys don't stop working.
Yeah, it's surprising they still have families.
Okay, so a lot of what he does must be unavailable to be seen by...
He's a publisher, It's not a public...
He's a big bosso man.
Yeah, it's not a public thing. I mean, he deals with all the digital content, so he deals with what gets made. I mean, he's kind of NSA of... Because he deals with all the licensee stuff, so things like Injustice... the Bombshells, because again, now it's not created by DC. The Bombshells were created by the artist of that series, and so he deals with he's the publisher of all the digital content, and then he's the head of the art team at DC.
Yeah, he tends to do a lot of the like costume redesigns. I know when they were doing everything for like DCUO, they had him do massive amount of work.
He does a lot for DC Entertainment as well, and then Dan Didio deals.
The whole Wildstorm group did a lot for that DCU.
Right. It was, and then he's the head of Wildstorm as well, and then Dan Didio is co-publisher on the writing end and deals more with the standard DC Comics line.
So any look right now, the way Superman looks, the way Batman looks, that's all approved by Jim Lee. He has the final say because
and the stories are all Dan Didio.
That stuff.
And you think that so all right, foot in my mouth. So you think that is would not get approved without his say so, and that he's doing a lot of work to approve those looks.
If there wasn't
that's only part of his job.
If there wasn't Jim Lee, somebody else would have that position, but that is his position.
He's a co-publisher, so there are people. He has editors underneath him that deal with the more minutia. But yeah, no, these guys are busy guys.
So to me, and obviously I'm wrong, but to me, this guy is the fucking hardest working guy throughout the 90s in comics. Period.
Yeah,
full stop.
Sure.
And has earned his retirement and gets to fucking quote unquote executive produce comics for the rest of his life and get paid ass tons of money to do what executive producers do on movies and TV shows, which is probably all other than.
But he's not. That's the thing. He's not the executive producer. He would be the director or the producer. He's
real producer.
He doesn't just sign off on stuff. I mean, he's the one of the two links to Warner Brothers from DC Comics. He's the head.
So that's where I did not understand. I thought that he was a check the box guy. It sounds like he's. I mean,
I'm sure it's
involved.
a lot of email and doling out responsibilities to the editors and the actual artists that do the work, but he's him and Dandidio are not. I mean, they're not the head of like Warner Brothers or anything like that. That just kind of sit around and.
But even for DC, I assumed that he was much more of a check the box because I do think that he's earned it. He's in the 90s. That was like he fucking made his empire.
Yeah,
and in my opinion,
he sold to DC. I mean, he's an employee of DC. He doesn't.
I know, but I just have a hard time believing that people like him and Bendis, and him much more than Bendis, like have to actually earn their paycheck. But they earned it years ago, in my opinion, and maybe I just don't understand it as well.
I mean, Bendis is just, I don't know his official position, but as far as I know, he's just a freelance writer for Marvel. He has dealings with Marvel Entertainment. Like Jeff Johns is chief creative officer at DC Entertainment, so Jeff Johns has a
job.
Desk and a title.
And Captain Cold on his door.
Yeah, I don't know if Bendis does. No. I don't think
as far as I know, Bendis is a writer for Marvel.
He has his name on enough stuff on television now that he could.
Right, he works with Marvel TV and has dealt obviously with MCU, but he's not like a paid employee of Marvel Comics. As far as I know, from Marvel Comics, he's still just a freelance writer.
Consultant. Isn't how.
I mean, none of these guys.
Isn't how it works supposed to be that you fucking put in your time for like a decade or two?
None of these writers for Marvel or DC or artists or any of these guys are employees. I mean, a couple of them are under exclusive contract, and in that case, they get benefits. But they're still contract. They're not paid by hourly or anything like that or salary.
Jason Aaron
Jim Lee is paid salary.
Yeah,
but.
That's why we don't see a lot of art anymore.
And Tom Brevoort and Alex Alonso and all the heads of the companies, but none of the creators.
Is that why?
I think so.
Right. Well, of course, because Jim Lee has a real job, and so when he does art,
he's not getting paid for drawing anymore. When he draws, it's because he wants to.
And when he draws, that's a freelance job for DC Comics.
Yeah. Or some WB head is coming down to him. We need your original art. Please draw a Batman picture so we could give it to someone.
But he gets paid for all that stuff.
Wait a minute. So what about like
he must?
There's bonuses.
Yeah, that's true.
This is crazy to me. So what about the whole you put in your time and then you earn your like retirement like royalties? Like is he not getting royalties for all the shit that he's done?
Oh yeah. He gets paid every time someone buys a Hush trade paperback. He gets his nickel, right? I mean, every time any character he created gets used, he gets something.
I'm sure if Jim really wants to, and if he invested his money right, he could like not work anymore, right?
Dude's a millionaire.
Sure.
Yeah. The dude is a straight up.
He doesn't
millionaire.
have to do this.
No.
He wants to do this.
Yeah.
By the way, millionaire like nowadays, I'm sorry.
This doesn't mean anything.
Like
Yeah.
He is a multi. He is not a Bay Area millionaire. He's a real millionaire. He absolutely.
Is that less than?
I don't know.
Sounds like it's less than.
I mean, he
works.
He lived in fucking Italy for like 5-6 years or something like that. He lived in like some fucking shoot villa in Italy.
Where the cost of living is way lower. Look,
no, he had a fucking shit ton of money.
Look,
I'm
not saying
his
that
entire family. Because
okay. Fuck, I'm not saying that he's poor. I'm just saying that I assumed that he was able to retire at the age of very fucking young because he's the best artist in comics history.
He could have.
Right. That's why I'm saying that based on that, he should be able to attain the comics equivalent of executive producer status and not have to work anymore
I don't think it works like that at all,
He works 80 hours a week when he's a multi-millionaire makes him, by the way, the only multi-millionaire like out there that works that much.
No.
Like every other fucking millionaire that is that wealthy is having other people do their work for them to retain their.
No.
You are well outside your depth
And there's
of
a lot
here.
of very very rich people in comics.
Please enlighten me.
I think this is an off podcast topic that might go really
Any
long.
more questions? Or are we wrapping up?
We got a bunch of questions here, but that
Let's do them.
I don't know the minutia of Jim Lee's every day-to-day life, but I mean, when I was at DC Comics, I mean, he's got an office in DC Entertainment. He is there. He's there 9 to 5.
Yeah,
and then some.
You tell me that I don't. Okay, yeah, no, I did not know, and I was wrong. That's fair. I just assumed that he had achieved at a much younger age retirement level status based on his success and skill.
All those Image guys could have retired after the first issue of any of those comics if they really wanted to. Right?
Well, they invested their money into other things. You know, like Farland got a toy company out of it,
right.
And he invested his millions into a toy company, right? Silvestri, I'm not sure what he's doing. He got a
use that
woman.
Same fucking Image example.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of them but Jim are still working. I mean, really, are they?
McFarlane is still working, but I bet you he doesn't make the money that Jim is making.
Eric Larson still pops out of Savage Dragon every month or two.
Well, Eric Larson is working though. He runs Image Central.
He's the publisher.
He's working. That's his job.
Eric Larson is the head of Image.
Yes,
Central?
That's his job.
He's the head of Image. Yeah. I don't think he's publisher.
The only one I'm questioning,
CEO?
Absolutely. The only one I'm questioning if he's still working is Silvestri. I'm not sure if he's doing anything.
Or
if he went over to movie.
He just covers occasionally.
I mean, you could do the J. Scott Campbell model where you're so good and so well known that you could just draw covers for the rest of your lives and live really well.
Guys like Adam Hughes and J. Scott Campbell make 10 to 20 grand a weekend. They just do cons. They do 5 or 6 commissions.
Yeah,
that's it. They never have to work again if they don't want to.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
But Eric Larson works though. That's his job.
Yeah.
It's the Image being the boss of Image Central.
Yep. I think he's publisher. I don't think he's, or maybe CEO. I don't know the exact title off the top of my head, but yeah, he runs Image.
And he's in Berkeley, by the way.
Yeah, Images.
Eric Larson?
Yeah.
They're all right here.
He's got a great last
Images
name.
right here. Yeah.
I think that all these guys fucking became millionaires overnight and just did startups.
Fuck, even Stan Lee, man. For a guy that doesn't do anything, that guy hustles. He's everywhere.
He is.
I mean, he doesn't do anything, quote unquote.
That's, I guess, kind of the example that I was thinking of in my head is that.
But Stan is one of a kind, though.
No. Right. But that is what I was thinking in terms of
just being there though. Yeah. That dude at 90 is going to be every fucking where and just sign. I mean, he probably signs 100 papers a day.
Did you just see him signing the Batgirl cover or the what's it called the Scooby Doo cover or something? Yeah, it's on eBay graded and it's signed by Stan. He had nothing to do with the damn book. I bet you he charged $100 to get that signature.
Well, he'll sign any book from Marvel.
Yeah, it's funny as hell. It's funny as hell.
Well, when he was at Emerald City, one of the things that blew me, because you have your celebrity area where you go up there and they have their headshots or whatnot that you can buy and have signed. Stan Lee had by the line, he had tables set up that was just variant covers that he paid for to have produced.
He has Stan Lee variant covers.
Yeah.
Skateboards and guitars and...
Yep.
That dude is a businessman.
Yeah.
Well, he has a really smart businessman working for him.
It's his
That's
people.
what I mean, though.
It's his people get 10% of anything that's got his name on it. So they're just what do you want to throw Stan Lee's name on? I get 10%.
Right. That's more what I'm thinking of.
But that's Stan Lee, though.
That just
that's Stan Lee.
He has people working for him, and that dude.
He's the only one.
How is that possible? Though?
Maybe Jim's just waiting for Stan to die, so then he can become the next.
Well,
one.
that's part of it. He's the only one alive, right? I mean, and any of these.
I'm sure
guys,
if Walt Disney was still alive, he could pull the same thing off.
Oh, it's the same.
But it'd be Walt Disney.
Sure.
Exactly. Right. That's my point. Though Jim is not Stan.
Yeah.
As much as we want him to be, but he's not Stan.
It's just, good for him for working so hard. I just had no idea that he was. I mean, he doesn't have to. and he could retire and live in fucking Italy in a fucking villa for the rest of his life.
All right, a couple quick hits. Let's go around the table. Raymond says, "What do you prefer, Marvel Cinematic Universe or the separate the idea of the connected universe, or the idea of the separate universe like Flarrow/Gotham/Supergirl?" Brock, quick hits.
Flarrow.
It's quick hit. Do you need my fucking quick hit?
Connected,
Marvel.
not Marvel or DC. Connected or disconnected between projects.
Wait, what do you mean? Like how Shield is connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Marvel Cinematic, Shield, or Arrow, Flash, Gotham, Supergirl, all independent. Superman, Batman, movies all different. All different.
Man,
That's a tough one, though.
I would say, based on how they've treated Shield, unfortunately, I would have to go with the DC model.
Toby.
I'm neutral, dude. I'm Swiss.
No, you can't be neutral.
Yes, I can be because
I'm neutral too, but I had to grab my balls.
Because I preferred the connected universe one, but they did such a crappy job. Not counting Daredevil.
Exactly.
Not counting Daredevil. Daredevil was in there, but then on the DC side, they did such a good job. But I would love if it was connected.
Right. But I would be neutral too. But I'm not from fucking Switzerland.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna fucking claim it because I am fucking half Swiss.
Charlie.
Connected.
Disconnected only because the connected seems to be too much trouble. Exactly like you three or you two.
It's too much trouble.
I think it's too hard.
They just fucking shot.
I would love it. I would love for it to happen.
But the TV stuff is minus Supergirl. The Arrow Flash is connected though. It's basically one show.
Two shows.
Shows.
Wait. Is Supergirl
maybe
part
three.
of the same network?
No.
So is that separate from Gotham and separate than Flarrow?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Well,
Dude, if Shield didn't, and people tell me that.
Quick hit. Okay, I know everyone will have a great answer for this. I'm going to go around the table. Alex asks, better soundtrack, Train Spotting or 24-Hour Party People? Brock.
Never saw 24.
Train Spotting for sure, dude.
Train Spotting.
You're all wrong.
Damn, Charlie knew it.
It's 24-Hour Party People.
No. Iggy Pop. You're an idiot.
24-Hour Party People is Joy Division and fucking Happy Mondays. You're all wrong.
Because you have your stupid T-shirt.
Clint, how many books do you guys read a week? Brock, average.
I don't remember.
No, come on, give me a fucking answer.
Be honest.
I don't remember.
Just throw
you
a number
buy
out.
like 20 books
you read
a week.
more than
you read most
of us, except for
20.
Charlie.
30 to 40.
That's a lot of fucking
Really?
books a week.
Holy
yeah, because he also does the buyers. So
Holy fuck. My turn is
Right.
6.
okay,
That's not
Toby.
30
Maybe
40.
one. Maybe.
That's not true, dude. You
No,
talk
it's
about
very true.
I have one a week.
I have a week where I read like 3 or 4, and then stop reading
Yeah,
for
for
4
average.
weeks.
Charlie's answer
so
is like
maybe
107. So Charlie read 9 books on this podcast alone. So
Yeah, he
That's true.
multitasks.
That's because we're boring as fuck.
So on a slow week, I probably tend to make it through about 30. On a crazy week, it gets
50.
so
it can get bad.
whatever I throw myself into, I tend to do too much of. So if I'm playing a video game,
Quick hit.
There was a time, though, Charlie read every single DC book.
Oh, yeah?
Every single one. Even the bad ones.
I mean, okay, I try to read 20 at home a week, 10 on Thursday, 10 on Sunday on my days off. Doesn't always happen, but I try. And then here, I try to read 5 to 10 a week in store. So 30 to 20 to 30, somewhere in that range.
A week?
Talio asks, as a small business owner, how do you stay in business? Fuck you. Richard, I'm assuming he's seen my tweets from last week.
Meanwhile, he hasn't, and he's just super
he's like, what?
aggressively responded to by Ryan.
Don't ever ask a small business owner how they stay in business. That's my answer. Richard says, what creator is knocking out of the park this year, 2015? We're going to have our year-end in review in a couple months, but in the
a couple weeks,
we're
dude.
getting up
It's
there.
coming up.
I know. I got to talk to you about something special, Bryce, too, after this podcast. Brock, what creator knocking out of the park this year? His opinion is Jason Aaron, by the way.
Who, Brock's?
No, Richard.
Oh.
But probably Brock.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like a Brock thing.
God, who's shit.
We'll come back to you. Bryce.
Dude, man after my own heart. It is Jason Aaron.
Okay.
Before you even said that was my thought.
Toby. It's Tim Seeley, I know, because you really like Grayson.
I really do like Grayson, but what's the book I've been really Jones about lately? It's,
You know what?
Hold on.
It's not Perez.
No, it's fucking We Are Robin. There you
Okay.
go.
No, that's bullshit.
That's not bullshit, motherfucker.
Can I give Brock's answer?
Leave Romeo.
It's also Charles Soule. He's stepped up his game.
Yeah, I could say Charles Soule.
He's doing a great job.
Charles West.
Charles West.
Dan Slott. Me. Jeff Jones. Justice League.
He's just as good as he's always been. He's incredible, but he's always been incredible.
Spider-Verse, dude.
Was that this year? That was last
That's the point
year,
with
dude.
the Spider-Gwen thing.
That was last year.
I mean,
No?
For me, what a surprise! This is between Grant Morrison for Multiversity and Jeff Johns for Dark Side of War. Heard another podcast. This is from Hiram. He says, heard another podcast. Is a haunted Toys R Us in Sunnyvale. Is this true? Yes.
Yes.
It's like 2 blocks from us.
Yes, it's awesome.
It's right down the street.
I kept wanting to get a job there just to see it for myself.
They redesigned it.
Wait, that place is... I know that Toys R Us. That's haunted?
Yes.
They actually redesigned it in a pentagram to kind of make the spirits go away, and it made it worse.
I don't know if that's true or not, but yes, the haunted Toys R Us is a couple blocks from here.
Dude, I go there to buy my kid toys.
Yeah.
That's haunted.
Now they're haunted. Now your kids' toys are haunted.
Yeah,
Good luck with that.
They float around at night. You don't know.
I think my toys are haunted.
The story behind it is there was a guy that was in love with the farmer's daughter, and he was chopping wood one day.
Like cut his leg off, right?
And he chopped his leg. He had an argument with the dad, and he was all by himself out chopping wood, and he actually missed and cut his leg.
Yeah, this is the story.
There are some great stories of that Toys R Us, though, man. There's
How
some
have you guys
great
heard this
stories.
and I've never heard
There's
this?
like the tricycle that will go by itself. There's
The
a time-
tricycle?
Yeah. There's a time where chess pieces will be set up in the middle of an aisle. There's the one where there's 3 guys in the store about to leave and the fucking intercom goes off with people telling them to go somewhere. It's brilliant, dude. I love that Toys R Us. I still wanted to work there. They wouldn't hire me, though. I was too old for it. They take my money for buying toys, but I was too old to do work there.
I don't even know how to respond to that. That's something.
Yeah.
Check your kids' toys for ectoplasm.
So that's it. Thank you all for this episode of The Comic Conspiracy. Toby, before we get out of here, why don't you tell us something?
I will tell something. 2 things, actually. Our good friend Lane Terasaki has his game on iTunes. It's called...
It's done.
Yes, it's called... I'm horrible, Lane. I'm so sorry. It has something to do with...
Toby was not prepared.
It is called Successive. So go download it. You like match numbers.
Successive?
Successive.
Oh, successive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
iTunes.
that's on iTunes. It's on iOS. I don't think it's on Android yet. So all you Android users, don't hate. Just be patient.
Because he wants to make money.
Just be patient. The other thing I want to pimp is on Kickstarter. Currently, there's a staff pick for a Visions from Punktown, a comic book anthology book. And I'm supporting this because my very, very good friend Sinclair Klugarsh, who was at the Ape a couple weekends ago, he's one of the artists attached to this. So I'm highly recommending you checking this out. He is going to do a couple stories in there. Cool. Sinclair, like I said, we go back to the days when we both worked at a comic book store. He has acted for me. He's a very dear friend of mine, and he's doing some awesome artwork these days. So. Cool. Go check it out. It's getting pimped by Wildsome guys. It's being pimped by all the other artists out there. It's a really cool project. So check it out.
Nice.
Visions of Punktown on Kickstarter.
We have to thank our good friend Albert Soy and his app Plant Everywhere. And our good friend Jody Lawson over at Canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicsstudios.com. Don't forget to go check out those guys. And if you wonder why we're talking about them, it's because they are fantastic backers of us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/comic conspiracy. We can donate a little bit of money to help support the podcast.
Yeah.
And at the higher tiers, we will we'll read out your name, pimp your products, do whatever you guys want. So next,
Almost everything you want.
the October one is almost up, so you have a couple days left to go and back us on there for the month of November. So don't forget to do that. We're gonna have I believe the plan is for a new Bryce Briefly next week. Assuming Bryce is on to talk about all the Marvel #1s, so definitely remember to check that out.
Can't wait. I can't wait for that.
Do that.
Man, I don't
Should
even
be
know
good.
what it's going to involve,
That would be a 2-hour Bryce Briefly.
New Avengers #1. Spoiler alert.
And don't forget to go to geekbox.net and iTunes, where you can find this podcast. And I should say, if you're listening at home and you're a fan of the Geekbox as well, you may have noticed there's been some delays in the podcast publishing in
What?
recent months.
Geekbox.
We would like to say, as a member of the Geekbox podcast myself, I would like to say that is over. The podcast should be going up every Monday night shortly after recording going forward. So hopefully I don't have to eat my words in a couple of weeks, but planned for that if you're a fan of the Geekbox podcast. So Monday nights, Geekbox. Tuesday nights, The Comic Conspiracy. So it's
And Wednesday night comic book day.
and the Wednesday night, go buy some comics. Forums at geekbox.net and the Geekbox Facebook group. Don't forget to go join those. Talk to all our people. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. They just wrapped up a big Grant Morrison sale. Now they're on a big Supergirl sale. Naruto, every volume of that's cheap. An IDW horror sale. Go on those. All linked to your...
Naruto book is awesome.
All linked to your Comicsology
Not by
account.
Brock, though, but totally think it's awesome.
Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Again, that's where you can go donate some money to us. Conspiratorbrock.com. That is Brock's blog and pull list. I know Brock's been a little busy, but that is going to start back up real soon here. The Infinite Longbox Podcast and Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension. Those are Charlie's podcasts talking about Doctor Who. It's finally good. So, not the podcast. I mean the show. The show.
Ouch.
The show.
Ouch.
The podcast is fantastic. The show's gotten much better. Twitter, Ryan Higgins Ryan, that's me. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larsen Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. And Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. Go at us all and talk to us on the Twitters. Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, and the All Talk Podcast. Those are our podcasts on our little network. Go check those out. Thank you. We recorded a 2-hour-long podcast. Good night.